Okay. Well, hello and welcome everybody. Good Saturday morning, and if you're far enough away, maybe good Saturday evening. Welcome to the folks that are joining us globally. I am your host, Edward Pereira. We have great special guests, along with my sidekick and very good friend, Tilla Heveshi. We have Einstein Barsano, I mean Ed Barsano. And we have the one and only Crypto Casey. So welcome everybody. It is
Yeah,
it is such a privilege to have two big brains in the house. Thank you, Casey, for all that you do for your audience. Attila and I are the support arm, if you will, between Go Baby Trade, the platform that we're going to talk about today, and Crypto Casey's audience as it pertains to specifically to this trader. So I'm going to set some expectations and ask you a couple of questions out of the gate. So let me share my screen. Okay, somebody wave their
that's
hands.
it's coming. It's coming up.
Okay, very good.
There it is.
Okay, so why are you here? You're here for a transformation. I mean, you may have your own answer, but if you were asking me that question, it is for education and transformation to unlock the opportunity to be financially free. You know, if you're a career person, that it takes 40, 50, 60, 80 hours a week, in some cases just to fall into this first bucket. So take a look at these scenarios and ask yourself, where are you now and where would you like to be? So let's take a look at scenario number one. And I can tell you I was in it for a very long time, even as a 32-year veteran of working for and with the federal government as a federal agent. I was in the rat race, working. It didn't matter what I made, but working just to pay the bills. And I would think that a lot of people have been in that same scenario where you work, you pay the bills, and sometimes you have more month left over at the end of the money. Never a good life. Scenario number two, the middle class trap, where you think you're doing well because you've worked enough to pay your bills and to pay your mortgage, which, no one teaches you that's actually a liability. Now, granted, everybody's got to have some place to live, but if all of your money that's coming in goes out and it's not building your financial future, and by the way, scenarios one and two are if you find yourself there, it's not your fault. The system has been programmed to actually put you in that position. I want Casey to comment here in a second as soon as I speak about scenario three. How many people, and put your answer in the chat, whether it's yes or no. What How many people would like to find themselves, or at least have a path, a relatively short-term path, to be in scenario number three, where your income is going to your income producing assets? And we'll explain what that means because there's only a couple of them on planet Earth. Instead of just going out to pay your expenses and to pay your mortgage. What if we showed you a way where even starting with as little as $500 over time, again, a relatively short period of time, in this case, the example is 9 years. And quite frankly, 9 years is going to pass whether you do anything or not. But to have the opportunity in a very conservative scenario to have almost $12,000 a month, starting with $500, $12,000 a month in residual income or income producing assets that lets you live your life the way that you want to live it. I mean, how many, put another answer in, how many could live reasonably comfortably doing what they want to do, spending more time with their family and children, as I do, that could live relatively comfortably on almost $12,000 a month? Casey, talk to me or share with everybody what you have done in not only building your business and YouTube channel, and quite frankly, you built a great um, path for yourself because 99% of it is serving other people at the highest level. So,
You're muted.
oh, yep, you're muted, or your your
Something's
audio,
wrong. We can't hear you.
yeah, your audio's out.
Okay,
Ah,
Oh,
there
sorry.
you
that's
I have
better.
my cats are running around. I didn't want to hear them squirreling away.
go.
Anyways, they've never asked me this question on the thing, so it caught me off guard. I actually started the YouTube channel because I started watching crypto whenever Bitcoin was like $10 a Bitcoin, used it actually, watched it go to 100 and then 1,000, and then I saw Ethereum hit the scene. And that's whenever I started doing a lot of research about what's going on. Couldn't find anything, just obscure Reddit channels, really conflicting information on Google searches. So I just started doing everything myself, researching, trying things, trial and error. And as I was doing it, decided to document it so I could help other people. Because I wanted to start a finance YouTube channel, but there was a lot of competition and everybody was saying the same thing, but there was nothing on crypto. So I decided to start making videos back in 2017 when I was getting into it heavily. And I didn't make any money from YouTube the first 4 years, and I didn't do it for that. And when COVID hit the scene in 2020, then I started getting all these emails, stuff blowing up. My videos went crazy because people just started getting interested in it. And then eventually I was able to start doing it full time. And all I do is literally try to give information to people, and people like it. So that's kind of my YouTube story.
Well, that's the genesis of how we got here, and we'll hear from the other panelists. But thanks. I don't like to surprise you.
It's okay.
But it's you have such a wealth of knowledge that it is an absolute honor and privilege for even for the panelists to hear about your wealth of knowledge, and certainly the audience that gets to participate as well. So.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yep. Uh, don't worry about all the stuff down the bottom. You can read it if you want. But the expectation and transformation is automation, cash flow, safety, and security. That's all we're going to talk about today, in the wrapper of showing you a system that has worked for 2.5 decades, over 2.5 decades, that literally allows you to make cash flow and money in your sleep. And I will come through with the promise of what I asked, if you could live conservatively, or on our conservative estimate of almost $12,000 a month. So need you to look at just the red part. Okay. We're here. We're not providing financial, investment, tax, legal, or accounting advice. You're here solely for educational and informational purposes only. But I challenge you to pay very, very close attention to what we're sharing, because it's not myth. It's not if, it is fact over 25 years. Does it work? Yes, it works. Are your funds secure? Yes. All of these questions are going to be answered 100% factually, not projections, but factually. So with that, let me share, stop sharing my screen. Let me turn it over to my co-host Attila. That will give you a little bit of background of how we came to be, because without the chance meeting between Ed Barsano and Attila, we would all not be here to prosper. And then, of course, Crypto Casey's the icing on the cake that gets to share it with an audience that she has been faithful to for a very, very long time. So with that, Attila, take it away.
Thank you, Edward. Yeah, November of 2012 was that chance meeting, and I still have a photo. I got to bring it up one of these days of Ed Barsano at that meeting when I first met him, carrying a massive boom box on his shoulder, like this big, like
Hey,
three
you're the
feet.
one that gave me that boom box. It was giant.
That's a great picture. Anyway, let me dovetail into something Edward said with that visual of the three ways you could go. It's really important for everybody to take inventory of really how many platforms or assets or things you own or control in your life that produce cash flow or income. What do you have? I mean, you might be a real estate investor, and believe me, I used to be a full-blown real estate investor. I believe in it. In my opinion, it's uber cumbersome. Okay, because even if you outsource the management of your properties and pay 10 to 20% to another entity, a management company, it's still cumbersome. They're still going to come to you with decisions that have to be made. So this is literally set it and forget it, and we'll talk more about that. So let's talk about how I met Ed Barsano. It's a pretty interesting story for those of you that never heard it. So first of all, Ed Barsano was in the Navy 8 years, and then later on, about 2, 3 years later, ended up being one of the first 350 developers and programmers at Microsoft, hired by Bill Gates in 1985. He was a rock star there for 8 years. He hates it when I say that, but he was. He's very humble about that. And then when he retired as a young man of 30, I think he was 39, in the year 1995, he was bored to death, invested in the stock market with the tech stocks were going like this, vertical. And 2000, he got wiped out. Fortunately, he lost 60% of his net worth. Fortunately. Why do I say that? Because if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have made the decision he made, and we wouldn't all be here talking about this and being able to take advantage of this platform. And that is, he says, I'm going to level the playing field, meaning that he developed, took him a year or two, but he developed the world's first fully automated robotic stock market trading platform for the average person so that they didn't have to gamble and that they had a fair shot of making consistent cash flow and profits. And he launched that in 2001. And folks, it's pretty amazing to think about what this trader does today in 2026. Imagine in 2001 how amazing it was. Now, I met him through a mutual friend introduction in 2012. And I mean, it blew me away when my friend said, Attila, you want to make some money in the stock market without doing a darn thing? And I said, that doesn't sound like it's really possible, but I'm all ears. Tell me more. He introduced me to Ed. After 20 minutes. I cried uncle. I said, hey, time out. I get it. I want to buy this license. I bought it and I used it successfully. I mean, this thing literally turned itself on. Once you programmed it, turned itself on. It was downloadable software back then, by the way. Um, It turned itself on with the stock market opening at 9:30, I believe. Traded for you all day, 100% unattended. You didn't have to touch it. And at 4 o'clock, it shut itself off. Now that was a mind blower to the average person because nobody had ever seen anything like that. And eventually he did, actually, not eventually, right about that time, he teamed up with a marketing company. Folks, they sold $16 million worth of licenses in just 2 years. That's a lot of business. But, as most partnerships are very tough, that didn't work out as far as the partnership part. So Ed decided, in a very smart fashion, to go back to being solo and control everything. And in 2019-ish, he sold out to a hedge fund. And that hedge fund, by the way, bought a lot of licenses from Ed in the previous to that. So now we fast forward to where the story kind of takes an interesting twist. 2 years ago, March 25th, 26th of 2024, I'm sitting at my desk. I had a rough day at the office and I'm sitting there going, boy, I got a great crypto portfolio. By the way, my background is all financial. I neglected to let everybody know what my background was, but I've been in financial related entities and endeavors ever since I arrived to Florida in 1983. I'm dating myself here. So, but anyway, when was it? September of 2020, I decided to go all in on the digital money revolution. That's blockchain, um, decentralized finance, AI, crypto. And that's almost 6 years ago, and I've been full-time since. But I recognized 2 years ago that I want my crypto, my stable coins, to earn more crypto on itself. I wanted to multiply it in a safe and secure fashion. You see, I had attempted to go into 4 to 5 different blockchain crypto cash flow projects, and I lost on all of them. And the reason I lost is because I didn't control my crypto. I sent it to a third-party exchange. or wallet. So safety and security was at the forefront of my mind when I was thinking in March, late March, how do I multiply my crypto? And it took me a full day, but Ed Barsano's name just jumped in my head, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll bet Ed somewhere in the last 3 to 4 years developed a trader, robotic autonomous trader for crypto. And I still had his phone number.
And that was a wild guess, man. I mean, that's weird that you just thought about that after all those years.
Yeah, no,
I
because
mean,
I knew that it was safe and secure because I remember back in the day, we controlled at the broker our own money for stock trading. So I called him. We had a 3 hour chat, and he confirmed my hunch. He said, "Yep, I automated the crypto market in April of 2021." And he said, "Attila, as soon as I turned this thing on, I realized I'm done with stocks. This is light years ahead of the stock market." And I said, "How come?" And he said, "Number one, you need volatility, a lot of volatility to make money in any asset class when you're trading. And the crypto market, the crypto asset class has almost the top, maybe futures are more volatile, but it's almost the number one most volatile asset class. And that's a freebie. That's a bonus." And he said, number two, stocks trade, 6.5 hours a day, 5 days a week, whereas crypto is 24/7, 365. And I recognized that right away as a big advantage. And I knew that was correct. But number three and number four is what really got me. Number three, he said, look, um, it's not downloadable software anymore. It's web-based. And I wasn't sure what that meant. So I asked for clarity. And he said,
big
look,
one.
when you buy, yeah, real big one, when you buy the license again, I could have you trading live in less than 10 minutes to your exchange. And I'm like, what? I said, let's do it. I bought the license on the spot, and in about between 8 and 9 minutes, I was connected live to my Coinbase. And that really showed me how far he had come with this because, boy, it was nothing like 2012. It was cumbersome back then. It took 90 minutes to download it. It wasn't that easy. But
7 minutes of that 8 or 9 minutes was you trying to get into your Coinbase account.
not. Um, and then number four is what was the most important thing to me, as I just stated a few minutes ago, and it should be the most important thing to all of you listening today, and that is this. He created an API connection to your own Kraken or your own Coinbase account. So again, who controls your money? You do. Big point. Very important point. Okay. Now, the only thing, before I introduce Ed and Casey, the only thing I want to make sure everybody appreciates and keeps at the forefront of your mind, we're going to say set it and forget it quite often during this Zoom webinar today. Please take it literally, because once you go live and you're connected to your exchange, you literally are not required to do anything else. Now, you're going to go and look at your trader probably every day just to see what it's done for you, but you don't need to interact. This is not copy trading. You don't need to change anything. The settings are optimized over 25 years. He went from 10 pages of settings down to 1 page of setting. See, Ed, you don't need to cover that anymore. I just covered it. So,
Because I
guess
already
what?
built all the good stuff into the
They're
software.
all there. Everything's there for you. You don't need to touch anything. Just let it do its thing. That's why it's called a set it and forget it robotic autonomous crypto trader. The second thing I would really appreciate it if everybody understood clearly is what this man has brought to the world. He has introduced something to the world that's never really been done before for the consumer, and that is without anybody being an accredited investor, without anyone being having any knowledge about trading, without anyone having knowledge about crypto or blockchain, you can now automate a portion of your financial life and make money while you sleep. Never been done. And he's been doing it 25 years. That's pretty cool. That's very unique. Wouldn't you say, Case?
Very,
Yeah.
extremely.
Yeah. So before I introduce Ed, Casey, is there anything that you have on your mind today? Here we are approaching towards the end of April 2026, and the market is on an upswing. So any insights into what you see coming here in the next month or two? Or
I
as it
mean,
relates to the trader opportunity or anything?
oh, sure. Well, I mean, the the markets are reacting to a lot of news that is very unpredictable. So I would see it's going to still be unpredictable. However, whenever he launched the trader, it hasn't been through a proper bull cycle and it still performs really well. So we will go through and enter a new bull cycle at some point, I think within the next year or two, and it will just perform a lot better. And it's already great now. Um, so yeah, I guess, do
That's
you
a,
want me to
Um,
say how I met
that,
them? How I met you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
that's always a cool
pulled
story.
kicking and screaming into the craziness that we have now?
Yeah, so I have a friend who nothing to do with crypto. He was at a networking event or something, and then he met Edward. And Edward talked about how he was in blockchain and crypto. And what's funny is this friend, I have a business venture with him, and I had one rule. Don't talk about me. I wanted to be like a silent partner. Don't talk about my YouTube. That's what I told him. And he said, "Oh, you should meet my friend Casey. She has a crypto YouTube." And then so of course Edward and I meet Attila and they kind of show me what we're looking at today. And I was like, scam, this is crazy. But I decided to buy the product. So I spent $4,500, bought it. I didn't tell them. And I used it for about 4 months and it was very interesting. So then we linked up again and I was like, this is something that I think people should know about and actually works. So at that point, I met Ed, the creator. I had a lot of questions for him. He answered them all. And pretty much 8, 9 months of me using it without talking about it. That's whenever I made the video back in August 2024 and first exposed people to it because I mean, as far as my experience, it was working. And up to this point, I think most like 99.9% of people that have it are really happy. And so yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. What you just said about at some point we will hit a bull market. This trader, with the exception of a little bit of bullishness when Ed Barsano first turned on his trader between April 2021 and let's say October, the market was moving pretty nice. But then we hit the crypto winter, and ever since then we really haven't been in a true bull market. So we often say on these webinars, and if you've joined us, you've heard us say the traders for all intents and purposes, has never been through and has never seen a bull market. So what kind of numbers, if it averages, I like to say conservatively, this thing averages, let's say 3% on the low end to 7% on the high end per month in this kind of market. If it does 2% a month, that's like a disaster for the trader.
yeah, I don't
It's
think I've ever seen that.
24% a year. I mean, think about it. A disaster is 24% a year. Right, Ed? When's the last time you saw 2% a month?
I don't think I ever have.
So,
I
so
mean, the market dropped 94% in the last 5 years, and we're still in the game pounding out money.
my point is, if the numbers are what I just explained now, what are they going to be, like Casey just said, when we hit that bull market? I mean, literally, it could be 5 to 20% a month. We don't know that whole range.
Well,
So,
not only that, you've built inventory. The auto trader
right,
has prepped you for the kill.
right.
Now that the coins are at the bottom and we've loaded up the whole time from the top to the bottom, we're ready to I can't wait for that market to take off, man.
Anyway, Ed,
Talk
you don't
about
have to
free
stop
money.
talking. The floor is yours now, so maybe you
Can
can
I?
share
Well,
some.
I wanted to butt in and say something. Congratulations, Casey, for navigating what you thought was a scam because there's scams. Well, you've seen more scams than anybody.
Oh yeah.
But then getting
You're
to
the
the other
scam
side of
expert.
yeah, getting to the other side of that, and then deciding to introduce this to your audience. Thousands of people have benefited from that decision you made, and thousands more are standing in line. And we hope that our goal today is that we give you actionable intelligence. That's another thing that I want to compliment you on, Casey, that Attila touched on as well. Is there's all these prognosticators, thousands of people out there pointing about, where's XRP and where's Bitcoin going and what's this and that and the other. But no one actually gives you actionable intelligence that you can put in your hands and actually make money in the market.
Amen to
Almost,
that.
almost risk free. And we're going to show you system, we're going to show you process, we're going to show you how literally as Attila talked about, and I'll say it again because he said we were going to say it a bunch, a set it and forget it system that is highly secure, highly accurate, 98% accurate to take you into the future. And don't forget to hold me to the promise because I'm actually going to show you numbers when we transition of how you can prosper from it as well. This is not a get rich quick scheme. It is a process and a system that provides you your wealth opportunity as far as you want to go into scenario number three, out of the trap, out of the scams, Bloomberg spoke to the president, and into prosperity. So with that, Ed, apologize for the interruption or delayed
It's okay.
Intro to you.
I got
Take
my
it away.
Apple 101 device here, and I've been taking notes. You know, the last thing you guys mentioned was scam. You know, the biggest challenge here with this software is you. It's not the software. When I released the software in 2001, a fully automated trader, I thought it should have been routine. I was surprised that, you know, that it was something that nobody ever did. You know, I'm like, really? I mean, what kind of systems are they creating out there? A bunch of manual trading systems? Who needs that? You know, I mean, I want something that's automated. And so I was surprised when everybody was acting all freaking out over it. And even today, if you go to Facebook or anywhere out there, and if you even try to talk about this kind of stuff, you know, they'll say, get out of here, scammer. They can't. It's so the people have a hard time grasping that it could be real. Because in your mind, and I see it, people will put down automated trading. People who don't even own an auto trader are out there saying it's a scam. I'm like, how can you be saying it's a scam? You don't even. And anytime somebody mentions Go Baby Trade and says that it can't be real, I right away look in the database to see if I can find their name, and I can't. It's like you don't even have an auto trader, and you're saying it's not real. You know. So the software is not the challenge. The people are the challenge, and breaking out of that mental you know that if it sounds too good to be real, it must not be real. You know, it must be a scam. If it was real, he wouldn't be sharing it with you. If it was real, everybody would already have it. I've heard, and I could go on and on. I mean, I remember I created a whole list of like 20 things, negative things people said without even owning the auto trader, all this negativity. And I'm like, dear Lord, you're living in, your mind is in a gutter, man, and I feel bad for you. You know, these everybody knows these are therapy sessions for me when I come on here because I just need to get this stuff off my chest. Um, because it freaks me out. I really am, you know, am baffled by it. In 25 years, I've been doing this, and like I said, the software's not the challenge; the people are. Um, so, you know, it was funny. You know, I took some notes here, and I remember this guy Enzo Sciano. You know, I used to work with him at Microsoft years ago, and 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 he sent me an email about 10 years ago. He just found me on the internet. And you know, and it was really his response. The first thing he said is, "How goes the war?" or "How goes the battle?" He remembers the Microsoft days. That place was a war zone, man. How goes the battle? He still remembers. It just brought back all the great memories, the challenges we had. So why are you here? I wrote that down. You know, I mean, Edward, you said a lot of reasons why people are here, you know, to break out of I don't know. You know, when I started at Microsoft, I walked in there getting a regular salary, like everybody, like in your box number one, when you put up those three boxes.
Right.
And I thought that's what all life was too. You got a salary and you went to work. And I was like, all right, I'm at Microsoft. This is great. And I got a nice salary. And then they handed me the stock options. And I'm like, holy Toledo. I mean, millions of dollars in year one. I'm like, holy end game. And I'm like, I did not know you could make money like that. And you see, and that's the thing is, we don't know what we don't know. So that's why I try to understand how everybody continues to live the way they live. And I'm like, man, you don't even realize all the free money that's flying around out there. And especially when it comes to the crypto market, they're literally throwing money at us, throwing money at you. and 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 people don't know how to take it. They're running scared. I don't understand what it is. I mean, I do know, I understand the game because I understand how they got played. When Bitcoin went to 60,000 and then it dropped to 30,000, and the people that got in at 60,000 dumped their shares at 30,000, at a loss and just lost half their money. And so, and that's criminal. The auto trader never sells at a loss, would never do that. The auto trader would have taken advantage of the lower price and bought more at 30,000. But people didn't know how to do that, and they got afraid, and they listened to other people out there saying, "You're gonna lose everything, get out. You're being made a fool of. Cryptos aren't real." I heard all that negative stuff. I watched the congressional hearings when
Yeah.
FTX,
FTX.
yeah, when they went under and they did those congressional hearings, and one of the senators had the audacity to sit up there and say, "Cryptos aren't even real. It's all smoke and mirrors." I'm like, "You liar. You know that's a lie." Unreal. But yet they get to say that. And there's nothing we can do. I can't go on TV and call him a liar right then. I wish I could have, because he spreads that negative, those lies out there to everybody, and again, keeps everybody in box number one. Frankly, I didn't really like that guy laying there drinking the Mai Tai either. In box number three, I thought that I wouldn't want that life anyways. That's boring. You should have box number three should look way more exciting than that.
Well, it's about choice. Do you want to be in financial slavery or financial freedom?
Well, that guy could have sat in box number one, living in a
Well,
dump, and still laid out there drinking his Mai Tai. Whatever. He didn't need to be rich to do that. You need to work on box number three, anyways. But why are we here? We are here, we had Edward, you put all those other reasons why we're here, but really, people, you're on this webinar right now to see how to just make automatic money. That's it. Forget about what you're going to do or how it's going to change your life and all that. You want a system that just cranks out money. Please give me a savings account that just cranks out money. That's what you want. You put your money in a bank not because you're trying to save your money, because like I always say, you could save your money under your mattress. You're hoping to put your money in a bank because they're supposed to make your money grow or something, but they forgot what their mission was, I think. Because if their mission is just to protect my money, I mean, I can go to Walmart and buy a safe. You can put $200,000 in $100 bills in a small safe about this big. I know. See, don't let them give you 20s. That'll fill up all your safes. You need $100 bills at least. But you don't need a bank to save your money. The whole mission should be to invest your money, to grow my money. And and then you give your money to the bank, and then the bank loans it to the credit card companies, and then the credit card companies loan it out for 30% of interest, and get paid 30% interest when people borrow money from them with the credit card. Everybody's making money in that equation except you, and you're the one with the money. There's something wrong here. So banks are on their way out as people get more educated, I think. So really, you want an automated system where you can park your money and watch it grow 24 hours a day without you doing anything. That's the mission. That's the goal. And I wrote that down. I just said, "Why are you here?" Because right away, when you were talking about all these reasons why you're here, I'm like, "Hey, I'm here. I mean, I have an auto trader to make money. That's why I put my money in my auto trader, And I can tell you, this is an advantage I have that everybody else doesn't have because I've been doing this 25 years. I see what everybody's doing. I see that once people see what the auto trader's doing, they're selling their businesses. They're just trying to find money everywhere. Where can I find more money to put into this auto trader? Because 100% return of a million is a lot different than 100% of 1,000. If I can double that million, and I watch people doing it, so and I watch the auto trader just cranking that money out, and nobody's touching anything. So I wanted to show a quick video. I saw Larry Fink on TV a couple days ago. He was doing a webinar, a presentation. Do you mind if I share my screen real fast?
You're welcome. And then just for everybody's education, they probably already know who's Larry Fink.
Oh, he's the CEO of BlackRock.
Yeah,
See,
sometimes
BlackRock
when
owns
you
like 100, and this isn't a made-up number. They own $65 billion of Bitcoin and about $35 billion of all the other cryptos. They literally are the biggest company in the world. They own every stock, every crypto. They're on the board of all these companies. They have voting rights in every company out there. When they say something, they literally are calling the shots. They're telling everybody what to do. Okay? So they're really calling the shots. And I think he's stealing my lines when he's out there talking. I swear to God, because I'm saying stuff for weeks, and then all of a sudden he said, here's what he said. Let's watch this. Hopefully you can
Yeah,
hear it.
just a warning. Sometimes when you try to play,
Whoops. Oh, sorry.
On Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Let me start over then. I didn't hear you.
Well, here, Larry Fink says, buy the dip, you fools. In almost every period of time in our lifetime, if you bought the dips every time, you would have benefited. I believe we are just at the beginning of growing the global capital markets. BlackRock is bullish. They say, buy this dip.
And in almost every period of time in our lifetime, if you bought the dips, every time you would have benefited. I mean, think about it. My letter talks about if you invested on January 1st, 2000, and a year later,
2000.
3% drawdown. We had the dot-com boom. We had the great financial crisis. We had COVID. We had many other things, but you made over 8 times your money. I believe we are just at the beginning of growing the global capital markets, and I do believe you're going to see the breadth and depth of the global capital markets growing, and BlackRock will be a part of that.
You know that Black.
So there you go. You know, and you notice he said 2000 because that's when my eyes opened up. When in 2000, when they hammered us in that 2000 crash, I said, man, we should have been loading up at the bottom, not selling, you know, and that's why I automated the market in 2000. And I started developing the software right after I got hammered in that 2000 market crash. And, you know, I said, I got to quit looking at the screens and I need to just start chasing the money directly and don't let that market breathe without paying me. And why did I sell the company in 2018 or 19? That old company, the original software. When you're developing a piece of software and when you first start, I wanted the gist of it. All right. I want an automated trader that'll trade the market 100% by itself. But, you know, that's not as easy as it sounds because it's got to handle every situation. And the market's throwing a lot of situations at it. And you don't realize all the stuff that the market's throwing at it. Simple things like the broker says they filled an order and they didn't really fill it. How's that? And then the auto trader thinks it has the shares, and then the auto trader tries to sell the shares, but you don't own the shares because the order really didn't get filled. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong in an auto trader. But when you stick with it for 25 years like I did, the software just gets smarter and smarter and smarter. Even the AI that's in the software, I've been doing AI since 1989. I added the AI all the way back in 2001. And I didn't give it a thought. I didn't think I'm doing anything miraculous here. I'm like, why not? You know, why not put the AI in there? You know, and let it look at all the indicators, 27 indicators. Why do I have to look at a bunch of charts? You know, the auto trader knows whether an indicator is bullish or bearish. And if you want to know whether an indicator is bullish or bearish, go to eBay, pick up a book, Technical Analysis from A to Z. There you go. I just told you what to do. Get that book. It'll tell you, okay, stochastics. If it's this number, if it's above this, it's bearish. If it's below that, it's bullish. That's it. You know, and you feed all that to AI, and it sees all the indicators, and its pattern recognition is what it is. It can say, I've seen this pattern a million times, and I can tell you with 87% accuracy, that coin's going to go higher in the next 30 minutes. Okay, and we could talk a little more about AI later. So let's see. I knocked out Larry Fink. I wanted to talk about the level 2 screen. Can I show my trader real fast?
Yeah.
Real fast. This level 2 screen, this is something. I sat in a day trading house once. Yeah, back all the way back in 2001 when I first started, I needed data, a high-speed internet, and I didn't have that at home at the time. I just had the dial-up modem, right, back then. Or no, it wasn't dial-up. Yeah, I guess it was still internet, but it was real slow. No, it was you had to plug in the phone line, and it was real slow. So I went to a professional trading house where all the traders are in there trading. And while I was sitting there, I was buying some Microsoft, just trading a little bit. And then I just said out loud to everybody, I just threw it out into the air. I said, how do I sell this Microsoft that I just bought? How do I know when to sell it? And then somebody actually walked up to me and said, that's easy. You see that guy's order right there? Sell it right under him. That blew my mind, man. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. See these orders down here? Look at these fake orders, by the way. There was some fake orders there, but he said, you see that guy's order right there? Just sell it right under him. He said he's willing to sell at 9602. Sell it at 9601, like on this bottom one here. Just sell it right under him. So your order, or no, or yeah, no, under here. The At 603, 9603, sell it right at 9602. Sell it right below that guy's order. And of course, these were back then when you're dealing with Microsoft, there were like dollar differences between each person selling. And so, and I'm like, so I'm looking at other people's orders here, and you're telling me to undercut that guy so it won't go to so it won't hit his target. Because these are limit orders that you're putting out there publicly, people. Everybody's doing it. People tell you to put your limit orders and your stop loss orders out there, right away. And I'm like, why would I put that out there publicly if all the professional traders are using my order to make buy and sell decisions to undercut me? That's just crazy. So you wonder why it won't go to your goal. You put a target here to sell it, and they're buying and selling right under you. So you ever see it? And you've all seen it, where it tries to go to your goal, and you think, all right, you're looking at the chart on the screen, and you're thinking, all right, it's going to hit my target. It's going to hit my goal, my profit goal. And then it just tries to go there, and then it backs off, and then it tries to go there again, and then it backs off, and then it goes down. Because they dried up all the buyers. Nobody's going to buy it for your price if there's a bunch of buying and selling going on right under you. So, and that's what was happening. So I could see it. So that was the first rule I added to the auto trader. The first rule I built into the auto trader to deal with what was going on with the corruption in the market, that I call it, or the scam against the public. I'm like, wow, the public doesn't even realize this behavior is going on. That's amazing. So I built that right into the software so that could never happen. And then over 25 years, I just started adding more and more things like that to the auto trader. Then I noticed other things I learned. Like, see this order right here on the bottom? That's $10.55 worth of that coin. They fill the screen up. Look at these $11s right here. That whole thing is this guy's saying he's willing to sell, but he's only willing to sell $1.11 at that price. Now, if I want to buy $1,000 worth of that coin, I'm gonna be paying this higher price, not those prices down there, because that's only going to give me $1.11 worth of shares. I need to get up to the $1,000 worth. So that's another thing that's more corruption that I discovered. And so then I built that into the software, and I can show you a sample of what, I took a picture the other day. It just blew my mind, because somebody called me, or somebody emailed me and said, how come my auto trader's not buying, right now? And I'm like, I went and looked at the level 2 screen, and because he said, it looks like it's at my price. Yeah, his price is all the way down here, but he wants to buy $1,000 worth of this coin. look, that's $1.26, $1.26, $1.26. I'm gonna have to buy all these and still not have $1,000 worth. The price that he's going to end up paying for $1,000 worth of that coin is going to be way up here because of all these fake orders that are filling up the level 2 screen. I'm telling you, man, the internet, I mean, the stock market and the crypto market is nothing but corruption. And if you don't know this is happening, you're just being made a fool of all day long. You're trying to put orders out there and they're just jerking with you. The software is smart enough to back off. Software's looking at all this automatically. It's looking at that going, I don't think so. There's no way I'm going to get filled at that price down there if I'm buying 1,000 dollars worth of that coin. There's no way I'm going to get, I mean, where am I going to get filled at? I'm not going to get filled at these prices. The price I'm going to get filled at is not even on the screen. So again, total absolute corruption in the market. It's against the public. And that's a big part of the auto trader is the first thing you have to do is learn protection before you can even start talking about making money. Because, if you're going to be getting robbed, there's no way if you're a poker player that I don't care how good you are. Now I'm going to make a statement here. Now I know I got your attention, especially all you people that know how to play poker and you think you're good. Do you think you could even have a prayer of winning if you're holding your cards close like this? Nobody in front of you can see it, but you're sitting in front of a mirror and everybody's looking at your cards in the mirror. You don't have a prayer, man. You're going to eat you alive. And this is what I'm saying. You think you're good at something, but with the corruption that's out there, you don't realize you don't have a prayer. Casey, do you have anything? Did you want to throw anything out there on that?
Yeah, I think this is a good segue into pulling up the trader and letting people have a look at it.
All right. It all kills me because it's so true. And and the auto trader just takes all the sport out of the market. I just make the market look so simple. And it really is. It's insultingly simple actually. And that's the thing. So this is an auto trader. It's actually a website showing you what your auto trader is doing. And this is one of the reasons I sold the old system off, is because that was downloadable software. And that meant that it ran on people's computers all over the world. I mean, we were like the Geek Squad. I had 40 support people, and because I wasn't, and most of all that support had nothing to do with the software. It was like people couldn't get to the internet and everything. People having problems with their computers because the software ran on their computers. And if they couldn't get to the internet on their computer, they were calling us. So it was crazy. We were like the Geek Squad. I'm like, if you can't get to the internet, you need to call your ISP, not us. It has nothing to do with my software. Or Microsoft would do a Windows update and mess things up, because, that's typical Microsoft, right? They throw it out there and wait for the people to tell them there's something wrong. Somebody asked me how many testers do you have? I said, I got 10,000 testers. That's a joke, right?
Uh-huh.
But so I sold that company off. I rewrote the software to be web-based so that the software that your trader runs on my servers. And I'm at ease with the planet right now. I have thousands of auto traders running right this minute, running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And not a single alert coming on this cell phone telling me somebody's not running. Because boy, if something goes wrong, I would know about it. Man, I haven't seen a problem with these servers in months. Nothing at all. I mean, it's just everything they just, with so many servers, servers would crash and things like that. But if a server crashed, just like light bulbs go out in your house, when you have enough of them, there's going to be a light bulb out. I saw one out in one of my bathrooms this morning. One of the light bulbs went out of the 3 light bulbs, one's out. And it just happens. But I noticed one thing, the other bulbs didn't get brighter. They didn't light up the room. They didn't compensate for that bulb that went out. If a server goes out and all the auto traders that are running on that server other servers will automatically start running those auto traders. If an auto trader stops talking to the database for 10 minutes, another server will pick up that trader and start running it.
Hmm.
So you're never down. You're never not running. Um, so so what did I write? 2012 version. Don't know why I wrote that in my notes, but I'm talking about why I sold that other company off. Is because it also had 10 screens, as Attila said, of things you could do. Too many things. People were gambling. I watched them. I watched 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up. And and really, what I've learned over the last 25 years is everybody just wants to make money. They just want to make money. And I used to present to live audiences all over this country and, a few hundred people in a room. Everybody just wants to make money. And really, nobody knows how. Nobody knew how. Everybody wanted to believe that the market is that the first thing that you need to lose this thought of is that other people are smarter than you. Quit thinking that. Quit thinking those people on TV know stuff because they don't. They never tell you. Like if you watch MSNBC or something, and they're all sitting there with their suits on and all. Jim Cramer, for instance, couldn't tell you how to make a dime in the market, or he's going to try to tell you, well, you can invest in this company if the earnings are this, and if this happens or if that happens. You don't need to know any of that stuff. You just want to put your money in there and watch it crank out money, and watch it do it every day. Let's take a look here at this trader. We'll start on the left real fast. Um, Starts out, it's a live trader. It's got videos on every page. You don't see this, I do. It's telling me what server this auto trader happens to be running on. And it doesn't have to be server 93. It could be any server can pick up my auto trader. It typically stays on the same server unless something happens on that server and it moves to another server. Shows your current account value, today's profits. It didn't take anything today. If I look down below here in my filled orders section, I can see that it only did one thing today. Right here on the right, it shows today. It bought some Doge. Why? Dogecoin is down 3.51%. So it added to my Doge holdings. So even though Doge, I've already got inventory, I've got 25 lots of inventory. That means while it's going down, it's buying more, but it's selling off as it wiggles around. It had 24 lots and then it added another one today. The name of the game is always trapping the market at the bottom. The current price is the bottom price. So when that one, not if, but when it goes higher, it'll sell it off. That's okay. And if it goes higher, it'll sell the next one off. If it goes higher, it'll sell the next one off. Or how about this? We have a 20% up day and it sells a bunch of these off all at once. And I can show you that. Let's go over here real fast. Let me explain how the system works. Because this is important. I don't know if you'll ever get other people to talk about their auto traders and tell you how things really work. But this is how it works. If it was water and you have a bucket and a well, the bucket has to go to the bottom and get the water and it has to go to the top to dump it out. Can't go halfway down and then go back up. It'll be an empty bucket. Okay? Common sense. The bucket has to go to the bottom, has to go to the top. But if it's the crypto market, it doesn't have to. It only has to go down a little and up a little. So it goes down a little, buys, goes up a little, sells, and pumps money. This is real money, by the way. These are real money. These pumps, this constant taking of profits adds up. The bucket never sells at a loss, so the trader never sells at a loss. So it doesn't take money out of the bucket. It's constantly throwing money into that same bucket forever. And if you and you're holding these losers, you're thinking, well, it's going down, but it doesn't matter. The action's down here. And then if you get a jump, or when you get a jump in the market, like the other day, L3, limit 3, jump
Layer
200. what is it? Oh, layer three.
Layer three.
Yeah, L3 is the symbol. It jumped 250% in one day. I mean, what a joke. The Auto Trader had a field day, and my Auto Trader had 50 lots of that coin. That's 50 pieces of inventory that I bought that the trader bought while accumulated while it was going down. Even though it was still buying and selling the whole time, it was accumulating because the trend was lower and lower and lower. But then it jumped. 25 of those lots, the bottom 25, all sold off profitably. I mean, that was the easiest, thousands of dollars of free money. I tried to put that on the internet, and then Facebook blocked it, and they said, "Oh, you can't say free money." Well, I don't know, I mean, I didn't do anything. It was free to me, you know. It was free money. I mean, it jumped up, and the Auto Trader just took the money. I mean, I didn't. To me, that's free. The thing is, Facebook, whoever's on the other end making those decisions, his mind can't comprehend free money. He doesn't understand that the market's literally throwing money at you every day, and you're just not taking it. But if you have an auto trader, you are taking it. Um, yeah, like here, where is like layer three here? This is what the market looks like. It's just jumping, its numbers going up and down. And in the stock market, prices move like this. They kind of go up and down like that in a wave, a little bit. Cryptos jump around. And that's what's beautiful about that. I mean, there's a lot of advantages in the crypto market over the stock market. But one of the big ones is the way the coins jump around. A coin can jump up 50% and then 5 minutes later drop right back down. I'm like, but as soon as it jumped up 50%, the auto trader automatically said, what do I own under that? What do I own that I bought below that 50% jump up? Sell it off. And so it sells it and takes all that profit. Then it drops back down here and it starts buying again. And so you're constantly taking money. It's just free money. People tell me, sometimes I'll get a phone call when a coin drops like this, and somebody, or an email either way, someone will say, should I stop my auto trader from buying this coin because it's going so low? I'm like, no. The people that get rich are the ones that are buying at the bottom, not the guy selling on the way down. You want to load up at the bottom. I mean, even now, I try to tell people you can't own enough crypto at these insultingly low prices. This is becoming an embarrassment to society here. This whole crypto market, the way they push these coins down, this is just way wrong. This is everybody's worried about when's that Clarity Act going to get voted on in the Senate. I'll tell you when all those senators have bought enough crypto. Because there isn't a senator out there that, if he owns crypto, that is not going to sign that bill. That thing is going to get voted on. It's going to be 100-0. When they vote. If they ever bring it to a vote. They're just waiting until they can accumulate more shares at these insultingly low prices. And because when a coin, if you're buying all the way down here, as soon as it jumps up like that, you just sold everything off that you bought down here. It's all gone. And then look at how it jumps around. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. What a joke. What an insult to humanity. And then here's that when, what is that, April 4th? Or that's March. March 25th, it did a huge jump. What did it do?
That was my birthday. That's what happened.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was your birthday. That's why it happened.
Wait, I actually have a question for you, Ed. How did you decide to get into layer three? Because I'm looking at the charts, fairly new, only 15 million market cap. How did you come across this one?
Well, it was because I have a report called the highest trade count report. It
Oh, really?
tells
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even set it up like that. I was just looking at it like, how did you find this thing? It's this smart.
How did I find it?
I wouldn't recommend
just
buying and
popped up.
holding this thing, but it's very
Well,
well.
there's a few things. Number one, it was on this highest trade count report, L3. Let me see if I can get to it. It's on line 98 now. But
Yeah.
961 trades last year, it shows. And if I go over here, I can see all the monthly trades. But what it doesn't show here is how much money it made on these jumps. And I remember I was talking to a guy, Cord is his name, like like a phone cord.
Okay.
CORD.
Yes.
Hi, Cord. I don't know if he's on here now, but but he was going to some website and talking about how the most volatile coins, and I figured, well, 961 trades in a year is pretty good. Better than trading coins that are like down here, giving me 4 trades in a year or 17 trades in a year or 41 trades in a year. Give me a coin that gives me, 900 and something trades in a year. And when I say trades, I'm talking about closed profitable trades. Now the top traders are 1600 look at 1626 closed profitable trades. Look at these monthly numbers, each one. How many trades per
What is
month?
it? Block.
Oh, this coin, the first one, that's
Block. Yeah.
lock-in. It doesn't get much volume though, and it's only available at Kraken. This shows me the percentage of traders that own that coin. 1% of Go Baby traders are in lock-in. But let's go back to L3 for a second. 12% of Go Baby trade users are trading that coin. If I sort the whole list, I can actually click percent of traders. And boom, you can see the coins that most people are trading. Most Go Baby Trade traders have in them. 38% of people have SUI. 34% have ACH. That's Alchemy Pay. That's like Apple Pay worldwide. 29% are in Bonk. I trade all these coins, by the way. Absolutely. 28% are in XCN. 26% are in Peppy. I mean, you could literally come to the screen, grab the top 5 coins, and trade them. You're done. End game. They're all utilities. Oh, except for Bonk is a meme coin.
And
And
Pepe's.
Peppy's a
Yeah.
meme. But even these meme coins, they move. They'll jump up 100% in a day, double their price. That's the thing. I mean, I like Bitcoin for its business acumen. For where it's the value, I don't know. Casey, you can talk about the value of Bitcoin in the world because, like, isn't there a country out there that made Bitcoin their national currency?
Yeah, there's a couple of them, sure. Yeah, Bitcoin is more of a different type of asset. Like it doesn't act like
Wiggle.
these altcoins. It doesn't move that much. Well, in fact, can you see on this list of how many trade counts Bitcoin does?
All right, I'm gonna cry when I look at it, but
Yes,
okay.
it's not very much because it's actually pretty stable compared to the other, no.
167 trades in a year. However, let's go and look. That's a 3% report. Let's go back to the top
Hey Ed, how do you do
and
that?
change this to a 1% report.
Hey Ed,
Yes,
how do you go right to a coin? Like you went right to Bitcoin. What did you click on?
I'm on a PC. I did a control F for
You can
find.
do Command F on Apple and then you start typing and it'll jump to.
Ah,
Yeah. So I hit BTC and then I hit the down arrow and it went to it. Um, so it found, there it is on line 458, 167 trades in a year. But like I said, if I change this to a 1% report instead of a 3% moves, see, this is a 3% mover. Let's go to a 1% moves and now search for Bitcoin.
well, a little
A
better.
1,000 trades in a year. So that
Oh,
will increase your trade count pretty big.
oh,
However, it'll also increase the trade count of all these other coins. And then, and
Yeah, that's a lot.
then you're gonna see some of these other coins. Look at how high they are. Then you're gonna, if I want to trade in
8,000.
1% moves, I can trade SPX and get 8,000 trades in a year on 1% moves, real small moves. I mean, the market's an insult to humanity. I'm not even lying. It's the biggest joke. It's so simple, people. Anybody that doesn't have an auto trader, you need. I don't want to say you need therapy. That's rude of me to say but but because I've been doing it so long, and everybody, and I've got thousands of users, and if you go to the internet, you can't hear. There are no complainers because it cranks out real money. It just keeps pumping money. I mean,
Yeah,
in my auto.
you don't need to be you don't need therapy, you need deprogramming.
Yeah,
because your
deprogram.
generation, your parents' generation, and their parents are programmed to be trapped in the financial system. That's what we're trying to share with you.
And you're thinking that this can't be real. It just can't be. It's too easy. I make it look too easy. This is millions of lines of code, and it runs literally 100% unattended. It can deal with any situation that the market throws at it. If the data feed stops, I've got multiple data feeds feeding it. Then it knows how to deal with that. If there's fake data in the data feed, it can see that also because it's comparing data feeds and looking at all kinds of stuff. And and there's just so many things it's looking at. And that's what makes an auto trader. There's more than just to automate the market. It's more than just saying I have a strategy. Well, okay, that's nice that you have a strategy, but what about all the things that can go wrong while you're doing that strategy? And what happens, if you were to find, if you decide to jump in and then you own a coin, what is your solution for if it goes the wrong way? Did you notice something about the bucket and the well that yet I didn't, maybe you didn't notice it? I didn't say I bought it up here and it went straight up. This entire bucket and the well is saying it's going down. So your first buy is right there. You bought it, and if it goes up, you're just going to sell it. But this trader knows how to deal with going down. These coins in the last 5 years have dropped 94%. I'm showing you up here because the animation's starting up here, but in reality, that bucket is really all the way down here at the bottom, going up and down, up and down, up and down. At the bottom, you're sitting, if you were in this for the last 5 years, you're sitting on all this open inventory, which means I've got the market trapped from the bottom all the way up because I've got basically landmines I've laid. That's what the auto trader does. It preps you for the kill. Like when L3 jumped 250%, and I posted that on Facebook, what do you think somebody responded to that? He said, there's no way you knew that coin was going to do that. And my answer was, you're right. I had no idea that it was going to do that. However, my auto trader prepared me for if it does that, I'm going to clean up. I'm gonna trap that market at the bottom and it can't even move. And that's where we're at right now in the market. Most of these coins are sitting at their bottom. I mean, Alchemy pays a perfect example. I started trading that one at 12 cents a share up here at the top. It's at 0.006. You think, well, from 12 cents to a half a cent, what is that? I don't even know. That's like a 94% drop, I'd say, just about. You'd think I got to be getting killed. No, I've taken $154,000 in profits off the table in physical money. Now, my open inventory, all those lots that I still own, these 25 open lots that I still own, they're down 100,000, 109,000. But net profit, I'm still up. And
So
and
let me ask everybody that's new to listen carefully to that. What Ed Barsano is saying, his ACH coin went down more than 50% in price since he's owned it, and he's collected $154,000 of profit on that through the trader in 3.5 years. Unbelievable.
and it just keeps taking and taking and taking. They can never wiggle that coin 5% up from where it's at without me taking money, without my auto trader closing and taking more money. This your open inventory, see, this is understand the market. I'm going to tell you something about the market that you may never have thought about. A price can only go up and down. Forget about all knowledge of anything. A price of a coin can only go up and down. So, so there's really not a lot of tools. Say BlackRock wants to buy $30 million, or any individual, Tom Brady, say, wants to buy $30 million worth of a coin. He can't just throw an order out there and say, I want to buy $30 million worth of a coin at this current price, because there has to be $30 million worth of sellers out there at the current price, and there aren't. So, that are willing to sell at the current price. So, So if he tries to buy 30 million, the price is going to go sky high before he can actually, you know, buy that, because there's got to be enough sellers out there, and people aren't going to sell at the current price. So what they have to do, I can tell you how they work. They have to drive the price down. And the behavior there is like, say, BlackRock. They push and they can do it so easily because they control so many other companies. Like they own Vanguard. They can just put the word out and say, I want all these coins to drop 7% today, and they'll drop. Actually, they did that about a month ago, right? They pushed every coin down 7% in one day. So that told me immediately, as soon as I saw that day where it showed today's move, -7, -7, -7, -8, -8. Every coin was exactly like that. I said institutional behavior as soon as I saw that. Because I'm thinking, there's no way I did that. There's no way I can make the coins drop like that. So beautiful. Even today, there's a little bit of mixture. Down 2%, down 3%, down 2%, just about 2%, down 3%. Tell me this isn't institutional behavior here, causing those prices to drop so fixed. Because they should be all over the place, because all these coins are different companies. So what they do is they drive the price down. People stop losses kick in, because everybody, what are you taught in school? If a coin drops 3%, sell it at a loss. You know that phrase that is all wrong, but they say it. You heard it your whole life. Let your winners run, but cut your losers early. That's wrong. You'll be selling at a loss more than you'll ever be making, because the coin goes down a lot more than it goes up. You'll have multiple down days and then one big up day, and then you'll have multiple down days again and then one big up day. Where they jump it up there. A coin literally can sit in a range. It can just it's hardly moving, but you'll have a 10% up day, and then you'll have multiple down days, down 2%, down 3%, down 1%, and it's going down, 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 down for 4 days in a row, and that's all anybody sees. Like, right now, this is what people see out there, and they're miserable because of it. Because they see the market is going down. They see today's move, another down day. They're going, they hate it. You know, think of what a down day, really, if you were running a 7-Eleven, that means your shelves it's time to fill your shelf. You sell your inventory off, and then you refill the shelf. And you sell your inventory off, and you refill the shelf. I can show you what that looks like here in trading. Let's go just look here at the profits. When you have all this profit, and then you have these blanks where there's no profit, these are buy days, or these are buys. You can see open, 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 and then close, close. So if I go back and just look, just follow, just watch it. It's like a 7-Eleven. You stock the shelves and you sell it off. You stock the shelves and you sell it off. And you just keep doing this for the rest of your life, because that's all the market is. Remember my phrase, it's an insult to humanity, because really, that's all the market is. Because you're always going to get these crazy up days where you're just selling everything off. Like on 11.5, you're just taking all that profit. And then what do you do right after that? Buy it all back. And then look at all this selling. Just beautiful, beautiful. You're just constantly buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. It's commerce. That's what commerce is. You know what commerce is, right? You buy something at one price and sell it at a higher price. So quit calling me a genius, Attila. I'm not. I'm doing what the Egyptians have been doing for 5,000 years. You buy something at one price and you sell it at a higher price. I didn't invent this stuff.
I call you a rock star. Edward calls you the genius.
That's right. The modern day Einstein.
I mean, it's just a joke. The market is an insult to humanity. Seriously, it's the simplest game in town. It's easier than anything you're doing. I mean, what kind of jobs do you have? How many roofers are out there in the middle of summer? You think that's an easy job? That's hard. I mean, there's so many other, and I'm not putting down the job. I'm just saying there are hard jobs. Every job is, you have to get up in the morning. I mean, look at today. They got me up at this event started at 8 a.m. Normally I'm not up at 8 a.m., folks. I may be up at 5 a.m. because I programmed all night until 5 a.m., but I don't get up at 6 in the morning.
Hey, Ed, would you, people are always curious, how much money do I have to start with? What kind of money can I make? You've got another great report, which while you're bringing that up, I'm going to put Crypto Casey's, everybody that's here is eligible, and your friends, invite them to come back. We're here next Saturday. The link that I just put in takes you to a page where actually Ed's going to bring it up,
There it is right
and
there.
you'll have that.
GoBabyTrade.com/CryptoCasey.
Yep, or you can
Click
click
that
on the hot link that in the chat, and it takes you right
to
um,
the website. And then if you click on pricing, you can go down. It takes you down to that page. It shows you a Crypto Casey special. All of Crypto Casey's clients get $1,000 off the website price. And believe me, a lot of people come to the website without the special. And a lot of people pay $44.99. They don't have Crypto Casey's special link.
yeah. Can you
Um,
touch on how they can pay for it with other people's money?
well, you have a firm. You can pay with a debit or credit card. You can pay with crypto, or you can pay with this company called Affirm, and that makes you where you can make payments, monthly payments, or you say I want to pay it off in 6 months, or however, whatever payment plan you want, you set it up on the screens with them. So you can do debit or credit card. That's how most people pay. A lot of people use crypto, pay with crypto because you're already in the crypto market. You probably already have $34.99 just sitting there. And then a lot of people, use Affirm and just make payments.
Yep.
But across the
So
top, they have access to all of the things we're showing them.
yeah, the top trader, the highest counts report that I just showed you, that's this one right here. It shows you how many, the top moving coins.
Yep. Did I
And
call you?
we show you the default
Yep,
top movers.
yep.
And then you can also click on, the top traders. This one here is showing you the top 50 traders over the last year. And this report shows how much they had in a year ago and how much profits they took on that in 1 year. And when I say profits, I'm talking about closed positions profitably.
And minus fees, trading fees and everything, right?
Yep, this is net profit after fees because every trade that the trader makes, it automatically knows what the fee is. So if you're going for a 5% profit goal, it'll actually add whatever the fee is going to be. So the auto trader might go for a 6% profit goal. So that the fee is covered in the trade. So the net profit on that trade will be 5%. And the software
Yep.
does all the math for all this automatically. So this guy started with $10,000 and he actually took $29,000 of profits off the table. Tell me Warren Buffett wouldn't be banging down my door if he saw this. And he would be. He honestly would be. But I'm invisible. Nobody knows me. Um, I mean, Casey, you got like millions of users, of followers, so you need billions of followers. I mean, they're just, we have a lot of Crypto Casey signups, clients, a real lot. But Warren Buffett should be knocking, I wouldn't doubt if maybe Warren Buffett is running an auto trader behind the scenes, because I don't look at who's signing up.
Yep.
Maybe it's under rat poison. 101.
Under rat poison.
Yeah, that's his username.
Oh
That's
yeah,
Ed,
funny.
right.
yeah, click on the yellow box. Somebody's asking what coins.
All right, this one here, he just happens to be trading AIOZ, Bonk, Ondo, WIF. These are all top moving coins. They move a lot. The thing is now, someone would ask, what if there are other top moving coins that are better than these? When you first start out, you want good movers, the ones that move the most. But then there's a lot of value comes into play after you have a lot of inventory. See these? 25 lots, 37 lots. Because GRT is like, that one's in play. I call it in play. Because the GRT's like, without GRT, that's the graph. They write blockchain software. I'm a programmer. I don't want to write blockchain software where you're putting stuff on the blockchain, retrieving from the blockchain, generating reports from the blockchain. I mean, I'm not a medical programmer either, and I don't want to write medical software. You pick, as a programmer, you pick your niche and then you go with it. And then now, if I want to get stuff from the blockchain, I can call functions that GRT wrote. They've got 70,000 companies using them. So those 70,000 companies, those programmers don't want to have to write direct blockchain software to retrieve from the blockchain and generate reports and stuff. They want to just call functions that somebody else already wrote. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I mean, that's a lot of programming. I would have to dedicate my whole career to just writing blockchain software. I'd never get to write the trading app, but it's easier if I can call functions that somebody else already wrote. A reputable company like the graph. Now, why are they sitting at 2.5 cents? Because the whales are buying them up like crazy. They push these coins down. Like I said, these coins are down 94% in the last 5 years. They're sitting at the bottom. And who do you think is sucking up all the shares at the bottom? Now, all you buy and holders out there, you went in up here, you're already dead. Because you're going to have to wait for the coin to go. You're not buying and selling on the wiggles, right? So that means you went all in up at the top. You got to wait for the coin to go all the way back up to where you bought it, up here. And you got to be miserable after 5 years watching this market be on a long-term downtrend. You're like, when's it going to go back up there? And then you know what? You're going to get restless and sell it all at a loss. Millions of people do that. That's why most people are out of the crypto market because they already got hammered. When
Well,
Bitcoin
plus,
went to 60,000 and then went to all the way down to 24,000, millions of people sold off at a loss.
yeah,
And then it
Ed,
rocketed up to 120,000 and then came back down to 70,000 and again loss because they're all the way up there. But if it was they're running an auto trader, they'd be buying and selling all the way up and all the way down.
let me say this, Ed, that the only answer that I know of that makes sense and has a proven track record of producing cash flow and being a solution for the buy and holder, because like Ed said, people who have been buy and holding for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years are losing their minds. I mean, it's
Well,
just very,
everybody's underwater. BlackRock owns $100 billion worth of crypto, and they are underwater.
they're just
Everybody owning crypto right now is underwater
they're
because
frustrated.
it's just if you buy a coin up here and the price is down here, you're underwater. That's just reality. Except not Go Baby Trade clients because we keep taking money the whole time. Our profit buckets just keep filling up.
Yeah.
My auto trader has taken $376,000 off the table, and I call it free money.
It's a
I
matter of
mean,
frustration. The frustration levels with the buy and holders is very high because it's just like, when on earth is this thing going to start going to the moon where I could cash out and cash in? So that's why the trader, if you run it simultaneously to your buy and hold positions, you won't be under that pressure and that stress of, oh my gosh, when is this going to happen? Because cash flow is king versus cash is king.
Yep. Well, I mean, if you're a buy and holder, somebody's been feeding you. If you watch the market, other than Casey, everybody's feeding you hopium. I hope it gets back to where I bought it. Right?
Yep.
Casey, how much of the market do you think is manipulated?
All of it. All of it.
Okay. So
Especially crypto.
if
1000%.
if the answer is all of it,
you
why?
had him at all of it.
Right. If the answer is all of it, you, and I don't mean this to be insulting, it's just it's just a random comment. You have to be insane to not have an auto trader that gives you the same advantage that BlackRock and everybody else has. Why would you guess? Why would you risk? Why would you gamble?
Also, I'll pose the question to Ed, how much of the market is automated?
Well, I'm going to say just about all of it. You know, there's a handful of people sitting there in front of monitors and doing this manual stuff, and that may be thousands of people, but they're so the amount of volume that they generate is hardly nothing compared to BlackRock's computers, Fidelity, Merrill Lynch, Vanguard. I mean, the list goes on and on. All those big guys are just, they got auto traders just like I have. Because if I have it, you know they have it, all right? And I've been doing this 25 years. I haven't even been secret about it.
Right.
So like TD Ameritrade called me in 2006 out of the blue and they said, will you connect your auto trader to us so our clients can use it? I mean, my first response is, how are you calling me? How do you even know me? I don't advertise. I'm just word of mouth. People who own it share it with other people. How do you know me? And he said, you remember his words. He
Yep.
goes, you're real. I love that answer. I want that on my headstone. You're real. And I remember my exact response. I said, you're right. I am real. I'm not
Yep.
playing. I'm not playing. I'm taking over this market. And I thought it would be real easy. I thought I would have millions of clients. And then it turns out the people are brainwashed. I'm like, and it's like, wow, you can literally show them the Holy Grail and they don't take it. It amazes me, man.
Well,
I'm
Ed,
like, wow, how do you not see the obvious? And I'm literally spelling it out for you. I don't know anybody go to any other, I'm going to call it a bot, even though this is really software, millions of lines of code. Those other bots out there. Those other bots don't have a prayer, by the way. They are so far behind. Because I never had a competitor, and then all of a sudden, all these bots started popping up in the last couple of years. And I'm like, where'd they come from? I never had a competitor before in the stock market, and these bots are promising you the world. They're like, oh, we'll give you 300% a month and stuff like that. I'm like, there's no way you could do that. Because it's
yeah.
not, you can't dictate how much you're going to make. It's up to the market to dictate how much you're going to make. It's like the stores. You can't sell $50 bags of potato chips. Nobody's going to buy it. You have to go by what the market will bear. You know what the market will bear? A $2 bag. That's it. And it's full of air, by the way. It feels like it's full of air. But that's what the market will bear. And you just have to sell a lot of bags. I got all these bags of chips. Somebody gave that to me. Kathy, what was her
Kathy
name?
Jiglio, something like that.
Jaglio. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
she
yeah.
gave me that. And she said the one thing you're not going to find in a 7-Eleven, iodine. She gave me a bottle of iodine.
And
She listens to what I'm saying, you know, and it
Yeah.
tells me people are listening to the stuff that I'm saying. Like I wouldn't want to sell iodine in my 7-Eleven. I want items that move a lot. Give me the stuff that moves. Give me the stuff that gives me lots of trades. I don't want to put stuff in my 7-Eleven that doesn't sell. And it's the same way with the auto trader. So first you want to have an auto trader that coins that move a lot. But then after that, the next thing that becomes valuable is the fact that you have a lot of inventory. That's a well-seasoned auto trader. Because I mean, I can start out with a fast-moving coin, right? Where that moves a lot, and that's good. But if I start out, I only own one lot. You just bought it for the first time, you own one lot. Now, if that coin jumps up 50%, yeah, you made 50% on that one lot, that one purchase. But what if I'm sitting on a lot of inventory and it jumps up 50% and I sell a lot of inventory off at once? Now I'm making real money. And it's just like what I say about a 7-Eleven. If you only have one bag of potato chips on your shelf and a school bus pulls in, you're only going to sell one bag of chips. You want to have a lot of chips on that shelf because the school bus pulls in, a popular kid in the class buys a bag of potato chips, everybody on the school bus buys the same bag.
Hey, Ed, you got a lot of chips on the shelf. We got a lot of questions on the shelf.
Okay,
So can we get to the
so should I
Q&A?
walk? This is basically the auto trader. It's so simple. It's showing you everything it's doing. And
Yeah. Well,
nobody else. If you go to another bot and call another, get on the phone or send email to another bot out there and ask them. So ask them questions. See if they can give you answers. See if they can tell you what their AI does. Let me
well, it's
tell you
nice.
how AI works. Can I tell them that real fast? Here's how AI works.
Okay.
AI, when you first turn it on, it's pattern recognition. AI is a learning system. AI can't tell you 1 plus 1 is 2 when you first turn it on. It just can't. It does. It's like a baby. It doesn't know anything. It's got to see patterns. So here's one. So when the auto trader gets ready to buy a coin, it'll say, "I'm ready to buy it," and then it'll call the AI. The AI is a separate system from Go Baby Trade. It's actually like two-factor authentication. It's actually running on 4 separate servers in my racks of servers. And when the auto trader gets ready to say it's gone down and it wants to buy, the software says, based on money management and risk management, I'm ready to buy. Then it'll call the AI and say, do you think it's going to go lower? And the AI will come back and say, well, I'm 37% sure it's going to go lower. Well, I want at least 95% confidence. So the auto trader says, forget that. I'm going to go ahead and buy it then, because the AI can't predict it. However, sometimes the AI will come back and say, I'm 98% sure that coin's going to go lower. And so the auto trader then will wait and it'll let it go down. It won't wait long because it'll keep calling the AI, and within 30 minutes, that's going to break down and it'll finally not be able to predict 95% accuracy. So, and that's why when AI gets involved in a trade, it'll put AI at the end of it. And it works the same way if I'm selling. Did I see a sell on there? It'll work. Let me go to it here. Just get this out of my way. Find some with AI here. Same way with the selling. When a price goes higher and the software says, I'm going to take that profit now, it'll call the AI and say, do you think it's going to go higher? And if the AI can't predict that it's going to go higher, the software takes it. But if it can predict that it's going to go higher, then you'll see it on here. Profit goal reach. AI got involved in that trade. When AI gets involved in the trade, when you expand a coin here, it'll actually tell you, that's what this plus is up here. You can actually click on that. Right here, it'll say AI blocking trade. It'll actually tell you that AI is involved in the trade. And sometimes it'll say in level 2 data, data problem or data manipulation or something like that. It kind of tells you when it sees weirdness in the market and it says, I'm backing off the trade. I'm not going to trade right now because the data feed is showing me weirdness going on, like with the level 2 data. I tell you intimately what your trader is doing. I tell you how AI works. Now, AI can't tell you 1 plus 1 is 2, and it takes years for the AI to get smart enough to be able to actually make predictions. AI is, when I say pattern recognition, picture the 27 big indicators, stochastics, MACD, relative strength index, all that. That's all in the AI, and it's looking and it's saying, it sees what's bullish and what's bearish, and it sees patterns, and it can spot patterns that you cannot visually see. I mean, things can look like on your screens that things are bad. The AI can look at that pattern and say, this coin's going to go higher. And I've seen it. I've seen, man, where everything. I was in a day trading house one time, in a prop house, and everybody laughed at an indicator I had on the screen because the Dow was going straight down, and my indicator said that this market is, it's 100% chance this market's going up, and everybody in that room laughed. I'm serious. This is what happened. Everybody laughed because somebody said, "Look at that indicator," and it said that the market's going higher, even though the Dow was going straight down like a rock. And I said, "There's no way 10 neural networks could be wrong. That market is flying, man, or it's gonna be flying here in a second." And as soon as I said that, man, that Dow went straight up, man, like a missile. So they all learned, man, when my indicator says it's going up, start buying. Buy, 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 buy. So
Hey,
anyway, so what happens with these AIs that are out there now, these people that say they have AI, they created AIs in the last couple of years, all right? Their AI is like a 2-year-old. It doesn't know what it doesn't know. And I'm not making that up. It can't know what happened in 2005 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 2020, 21, 22, 23. It can't know what happened during that whole period. It doesn't know. It hasn't seen those patterns. So if you just created your AI, it's like a 2-year-old. It's like a 25-year-old in a foot race with a 2-year-old. They don't even have a prayer. Plus, I don't even believe they're really doing AI. And like I said, I've been doing AI since 1989. I know what it takes. And the AI in my system isn't Chat GPT or using OpenAI. It's not using the stuff that's out there today. I wrote my AI from the ground up.
Yep.
And each auto trader is configured specifically to work with the AI, meaning that the software sees data and it's writing data to files every minute. Every auto trader is writing data to files. I've got terabits of data, right? And the AI is learning from that data. So it's getting smarter and smarter and smarter every day. It's getting smarter and smarter. When I first turned it on, I was lucky to get the AI to give me to be able to say it's a coin's going to go with 30% accuracy. Now it literally can tell me sometimes with 100%. 100% this coin's going to go higher. That's beautiful. Or
In the next 20
98% this
minutes.
coin's going to go higher.
In the next 20 to 25 minutes, right?
Within the next 20 to 25 minutes.
Right.
They can't predict
Right.
what's going to happen tomorrow
Of course not.
because nobody can. And that's where
Nope.
they're all lying because they're going to get you. You
Right.
notice there's little things that I say, little subtleties that maybe I'm not sure you really understand. The auto trader is not looking at AI to tell it when to buy and when to sell. This is where all those people that are pretending like they have AI are trying to tell you that the AI is telling them when to do that. If your auto trader, if the AI was telling you when to buy and when to sell, then the AI could say, buy it now. All right, I just bought it. But it's not 100% sure, and the market, instead of going up, goes down. Now what do? Sell at a loss? You're dead. The auto trader makes sure, based on money management, that it's time to buy at the right time. And then it calls AI and says, do you agree with me?
Mhm.
Or do you think it's going to go down even further before I buy it now? Because I want to buy it as
Yeah.
it's going lower. I want to buy, and that's another thing that's opposite of the way everybody else works. Most people want to look at a chart and then and they want to jump in when everything is going up because in their mind, and you too, think about it yourself how you think. When you buy a coin, when you hit that buy button, in your mind, what are you thinking? You're thinking that coin's going to go higher. The auto trader's not. The auto trader doesn't care. The auto trader says, I don't care whether it's going to go higher or lower. I'm going to buy it right now because it's the right time based on money management and risk management. Now's the time to buy it. So it doesn't matter whether the software's right or wrong. I don't have to do forecasting. AI can spot a zebra through a picket fence. Here's a picket fence and here's a zebra behind it. And the AI can spot that zebra behind that picket fence. But it can't tell you where that zebra is going to be tomorrow morning. There's no way. There's no indicator in the world that's going to tell me that, and there's no pattern recognition that's going to tell me that.
Yeah.
Unless I know where his feeding hole is or something,
Yeah.
but anyways. So,
Thanks, Ed, for the AI.
AI is only good for, it's not the star of the dish. The trader
Right.
is the star of the dish. The AI is a nice add-on.
Appreciate that. That's a very, very thorough explanation on AI. And before we actually get to the Q&A, and Ed, it's up to you. If I know it's early morning there, but if you want to take your jacket off, that's your call. But
Are you going to start talking about those guys on MSNBC that literally tell you nothing that you could use? I want to
no.
see you turn on MSNBC in the morning and they're all sitting there they're all smug with their suits on and their ties. Do I look like one of them? That's why
No.
I take this off because I
No.
don't want to look like one of those talking heads that really tell you nothing. They never tell you
Okay.
anything. I turn it on in the morning to see where Bitcoin's at in the morning. I
Well,
can go
now,
on my trader right here and see where Bitcoin is. I don't need them. But I flip
okay.
on the channel just to see where Bitcoin is, and I wish they would put it up more often. You know that? I got to sit here and look at where the Dow is and the S&P. Who cares? I want to know where Bitcoin is because Bitcoin's kind of like an indicator. When Bitcoin's moving, the rest of the coins follow. You
Yeah.
notice Bitcoin's down today and the rest of the coins are down today. See what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an index. It's the index for the rest of the market. What is an altcoin? Alt
Alternative.
just means alternative to Bitcoin. So everybody thinks Bitcoin's the crypto market. No, it isn't. Everybody, it's just one coin, and all the other coins are alternative to Bitcoin. So that's what they are. And so they kind of follow Bitcoin because that's the big boy.
Right. So we have another guy without a jacket on that's going to first give us a little visual here that's very interesting, and he's going to keep it very conservative numbers, but everybody should watch this carefully. It's pretty brief, but it's very interesting. Edward, you want to share that financial calculator just to show what's possible?
Okay,
Yeah, well,
I'll
thank you.
stop sharing for
Yeah, at the
now.
beginning, I showed you the three scenarios, right? What
Right,
box are you in? Scenario number one, two, or three?
right.
And I said something that was a promise that we'll deliver on. How would you like to start with $500 and work your way to financial freedom? So let me actually show you the numbers because math doesn't lie.
Hmm.
All right, can everybody see my screen?
Coming up right now, yes, we see it.
Okay, great. So let me say first, yes, you need to invest in the software, but we showed you how to get a $1,000 discount and to use other people's money, how to use other people's money to pay for it. Yes, you have to eventually pay for it. However, I promised you if you started with $500 and you had 9 years, 9 years is going to pass whether you do anything or not, whether you buy the software, whether you sit as a buy and holder in crypto, it's going to happen whether you do it or not. But this is a path to financial freedom. Now, you saw you saw the percentages that people were making in the top 50 traders, right? Multiple hundreds of percent. Top one, I think, was 289%. I'm going to use some really conservative, and it may sound outlandish, but very, very conservative numbers based on how the trader has been responding and returning over the last little bit over 4 years. So we're going to calculate this at 50% growth annually. And you're not only going to start with $500, but you're going to commit to putting another $500 a month in your savings account, right? So when you calculate it, it comes out to what have you put in over the last 9 years? What did you start with, right? Instead of putting money into your 401k for someday, that if you need it before that someday, then you're penalized. You're penalized almost all of your gains. This, in review, this is 100% secure, controlled by you, nobody else, access to your cash and access to your cash flow to use it for whatever it is that you want. So over that 9 year period, your money has now grown to a balance of $563 or $563,993.68. Okay, so at the end of those 9 years, and some people really say 9 years, that's a long way away. It's not really. It passes, it passes in a blink of an eye. But let's say at the end of the 9 years, you're like, okay, I don't want to put $500 in anymore. I just want to start reaping the benefit. So take that $563,933.68 and put it into the calculator because now you're going to reap the benefit on an annual basis, right? This is all your money, not somebody else's. Remember, you started with $500 and added $500. So we changed it to 1 year. Now I took it down to even 25%. Attila, what does 25% look like in this trader?
How do you mean?
Is it reasonable that
Oh,
25%
yeah.
over?
No, yeah. Like I said earlier, that's really the floor in my estimation because that's 2% a month. And Ed Barsano, the creator himself, has never seen 2% a month. Now,
Yeah, because you're
obviously,
going to take at least like 50 to 100%. In
we
a down
now
market,
let me
on an up market, you're going to see 100, 200% returns
yeah,
easily.
but hold on a second.
Watch when this market starts turning up.
Hold on.
We got to have a qualifier in there, Ed and Edward. We don't know if somebody's buying the trader and putting in coin number 444, 466, and 478 on the highest trade counts. We don't know that. So obviously, if you put a dog or three dogs as your coins into the trader, it might be less than 2% a month. Okay, but why would you do that when we give you the tool to see as long as you stay in that top, even the top 50 to 100 are strong, but
Yeah.
let's say you stay in the top 20 or 30. There's
You
no way
start
you're
out
going to
with it.
yeah,
You start out with a good moving coin, and then you don't worry about where it is on the chart anymore after you're in it. I'm trading the
right,
same 5 coins for 5 years.
right.
And even though they're no longer number one on the list, and they're maybe all down on line 93 in the highest trade count report, that doesn't matter because what's important now is I have a well-seasoned auto trader. So now I've got all this inventory that is gold because the coin, those are each one of those lots that I own, call it a landmine. They got to go through, in order for that coin to go up, it's got to pass through every one of my landmines and pay me. And if it tries to go down, I start throwing more landmines. It's like a toll booth. The toll booth industry is a multi-billion-dollar a year industry. I don't know. Google it. It's on Facebook. Everything I talk about is out there. It's a multi-billion-dollar a year industry, and all they're doing is parking their toll booth out there and waiting for cars to come and pay them. Go Baby Trade is different. When somebody pays the toll booth, if we were the toll booth and the car drives by, we throw another toll booth in front of it. And he tries to go again, we throw another toll booth in front of it. If he tries to go backward, we start stacking toll booths in front of it. It's like you gotta just keep paying me forever. It's almost criminal. I feel really guilty the way I'm
So,
exploiting the market like this. But I'm not violating any laws. Nobody said you can't buy something at one price and sell it at a higher price. What I'm doing differently than everyone is I'm keeping track of all those buys so that I know what you paid for every purchase and so that when I sell it, I'm selling it profitably. And those profits are going to add up. And you can live off of them. I live off my Coinbase Visa card. I mean, this is a card that keeps on giving. I mean, no matter, every month I make more money in my auto trader automatically, and I just use this card everywhere. I have a Sam's Club card that gives me 5% cash back. I don't even use that card. I don't like it. You know why? Because I got to make payments on that card. This is just a free card. I use it, and the auto trader just keeps putting the money back into the account automatically. And then so it's the card that keeps on giving. It's just like you pull this out. Wouldn't you love to have a free credit card in your wallet that you just pull out and just use anytime you feel like it and never worry about paying it off or anything? I mean, that's
so,
real, though. It sounds like it's not real. But yet it is absolutely real, and it changes your whole DNA. You never look at the market the same again. I mean, you're done with this planet. Seriously. And I wanted to show this dollar bill that I found this on the ground not too long ago. And listen, it almost sounds like it's gonna break if I open it up. I mean, it's been run over 1,000 times. I found this on the ground coming out of a store a couple months ago, and I put it in my wallet like a good luck dollar. I don't know why. But I talk more about this dollar I'm so excited about than all the free money my auto trader throws at me every day. You know why? Because the auto trader's just doing it automatically. It's boring. It's
so
just
Casey,
boring. And once you get an auto trader, you won't be throwing your money in a bank anymore. You'll be parking your money in your auto trader and letting the auto trader use it to make more money automatically.
so Casey,
Yeah.
am I making sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
So,
yeah, I mean it's just forever. You're just forever gonna be cranking money out, and
well,
it's just end game. And Go Baby Trade really is the only tool. It just doesn't sound like it could be the greatest thing ever, but can anybody think of anything better, really?
There isn't anything better.
Not
So
I mean, I
let me,
can't.
not when you take, well, I have to say this again as the qualifier. When you take the total picture, why is McDonald's the #1 franchise for fast food in the world? It's certainly not because of the hamburger or the quality of that hamburger. That's not why.
The
It's
fillet
got
of
to go,
fishes are pretty
it's
nice. I like
it's
those.
it's got the golden arches. It's got the drive-through. It's got the playground for the kids. It's got Ronald McDonald. It's got, it's got the best real estate locations in the world. Same thing, but even better for Go Baby Trade. It's been around 25, 26 years, so it's got a proven track record. Never sells at a loss. Um, totally set it and forget it. Access to the creator, as per today, people can ask him whatever questions you want and a whole bunch more. But in this case, if we had a hamburger with Go Baby Trade, it would be a very high quality hamburger. Okay. So
Oh, cool.
that's the
Thank you.
analogy I like to use. It's that you got to look at the total picture. There's nothing, when you look at the total picture, there's nothing like this on planet Earth. Plus, you could travel the world. You don't even need a laptop that works or a phone that works. It's trading for you automatically while you're traveling and living your life on Ed Barsano servers. It doesn't
I
get
mean,
better.
even if you died, if you died, your auto trader would still be running. I hate
Yeah,
to say it
yeah,
that way.
absolutely.
all right. Can I finish my story about showing
Go ahead,
people
Ed.
an
Edward.
easy way to financial freedom?
Go ahead.
Casey, am I am I okay so far?
Yeah, I
All
mean,
right. So
what sucks is just so simple that it's hard to conceptualize because we're, like you said, programmed otherwise.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So 25% would be disastrous. People go 25%. That's that I've never heard of that. You've never heard of it because you've been programmed otherwise. So now all of this is your money, right? This is where we started with the 9 years path of $500, adding 500 more dollars, right? Your total assets carry over. You decide that you're now going to reap the benefit and you're just going to rake money off the table. By the way, all of this principal stays yours. You can do whatever you want with it, but that's what's cranking out the 25% a year, just the 25%. So remember at the beginning when I said, how do you go 9 years? You start with $500 and you generate $11,000, more than $11,000 in passive income. This is the scenario. Only at 25%, it generates almost $141,000 a year for you passively at 25%. That works out to $11,749.86 in passive income per month. Anybody want to put in the chat yes or no whether they would like that? Because it's not impossible. As a matter of fact, it's so possible. We take 2 steps back and give you a level set. The average return over time in a 90% down market of the last a little bit over 4 years has been down. If you put, for example, Ed Barsano's first trader, he started with $200,000. It made almost $1 million in profit. I don't know how you calculate math, but over a 4 year period, that not all at once, not every day, but over that period of time, accumulated over almost $1 million in profit. That's 125% on your money per year. This example is dropping the one just to 20% that generates. So let's say we get a little crazy because it grew to get to this point at 50%. What if we just change that back to 50%, which is still a third of what it's been operating at? Oh, by the way, in a down market, never seeing a bull market, period. No smoke and mirrors. Watch what happens. So if it operated at a 50% return over that period of time, $281,996.84 off of your original $500 investment. That comes to $23,499.73 in passive income per month. Do you see a pathway there? Do you see how you get yourself out of scenario 1 and 2 and into 3 forever? It's possible. Math,
Great stuff.
just maths,
Great.
right?
Well, once you have an auto trader, you're gonna see it because I see everybody doing it. People are mortgaging their houses and everything. I put a video out there to say don't mortgage your house, because You know, that's just crazy. If you don't have a house payment, don't create one. But people are just going crazy trying to find money to put into their auto trader. Where can I find more money? Because this thing will do, you're going to have 100% years. You're going to have 200% years. And it's not me. That's just the market's going to do that. You're going to watch what happens. You know, right now the market's in the gutter. Anywhere you go, you can't even talk crypto. Everybody's running scared. You know, if I go to Quest Diagnostics, you know, that blood work place where they take blood out of you, you know, when you're in a waiting room and there's a whole bunch of people in there, you know, I can't sit in a silent room like that. I just throw out there, I say, hey, who wants to talk crypto? And you know, when you throw something out there like that, it's, you know, everybody starts looking at the floor, you know, or the ceiling or the walls. It's like, oh my God, did he say that dirty word? Did he say crypto? Oh God. You know, and sometimes, like the last time I said it, you know, I threw that out there, you know, the whole room started laughing like it was a joke, and I laughed along with them. I'm like, oh brother, they are gone, man. Mentally, they're gone. They've checked out. And you know, BlackRock's having a field day, man. They had a field day driving these prices down and driving everybody out. So they were accumulating $100 billion worth of crypto, and they know they're gonna rocket that stuff up, man. They are gonna make so much money, and we're right there. And that was the beauty of it. When I turned on the auto trader, the crypto trader in 2021, my first thought was, oh my God, the market's crashing. First thing I said when I turned it on after doing 21 years of just stocks, I said, holy Toledo, I'm done with stocks. Cryptos are the place to be. And there's so many reasons, Attila, you mentioned them. Runs 24/7. And other things that you didn't even mention, you know, like the SEC day trader rule. And they just got rid of that. I think they just got rid of that in the stock market. The SEC day trader rule that said you can't execute, if you have under 25,000, you can't do more than 3 round trips in a day. A round trip is the buying and the selling of the same coin in the same day. You can't do more than 3 of those in a 5-day period. That would really literally shut you down. That's the stock market. Cryptos, they don't even have that rule at
Yep.
all.
Yep.
You know?
And we really,
Oh, okay. But
we
there's a
really
lot of
don't.
reasons cryptos rock.
Yes, agreed, for sure. That's why I'm in it full time. Anyway, let's go to the Q&A, folks. We got a lot of good questions on hold. Edward, I'll just read Scott Logan's comment. This is more of a comment, not a question. Go Baby Trade is an asset. An asset pays you money. A liability costs you money. Not all investments are assets from the get-go. Go Baby Trade is. Regarding taxes, the only reason you will have to pay taxes is because you're making a profit. The only other option you have is don't make any money at all. Turning down Go Baby Trade because of taxes is like turning down a massive pay raise because you will have to pay taxes on it. It doesn't make sense. Make profit, pay the taxes, enjoy the rest of your money. Scott, thanks for being here every week, buddy. We appreciate you.
That's awesome. That's an awesome comment.
Yes. So, all right. So I'll grab this one and then you could grab Martina's. James says, who can predict the future? I've learned that it's not me, but it looks like crypto bull market is being put in the pen, waiting for the matador to show up. Are you saying a bull market would be more profitable because of what? With Go Baby Trade? Well, I mean, I'll just say this, that it's very obvious to me being full-time in this space. Casey, if you want to comment on this, but if it's doing 3 to 7% in a market that sucks or is declining or is going sideways, then common sense dictates that when the market is flying and the volatility of these coins, and some of these things are going to go up 60 to 80 to 120, 200% a day. Okay, the profits that are going to be accumulated, and plus you've got all those. Once you have, like Ed Barsano said, once you have that well-seasoned auto trader, and you've got in the parentheses on Ed's Trader, you'll see on the main trading page, in the parentheses next to the symbol of your crypto is the number of positions or lots that you have in inventory. And those are going to sell out and take profit for you. There they are. Next to Doge is 25 positions, GRT 37. That's just those are all cha-chings waiting to go cha-ching. So I hope that answers your question, James. Believe me, it's no different than the stock market. If the stock market's going lower every day or sideways, and then it takes off and goes to the moon, people are going to make more money with a trader.
But with the auto trader, we've bought all the way to the bottom. We literally have the
Right,
market trapped at the bottom.
right,
They can't even go up 5% without us ka-ching, ka-ching. And if it tries to go down, we'll buy another one down here. And then still, when it goes 5% higher, ka-ching. So yeah, when it goes up, it's the example of the 7-Eleven. When a school bus pulls in and you're going to sell a lot of bags of potato chips, and if it's a slow day, I mean, if you own a 7-Eleven and nobody's walking through your door, that's a slow day. Or if only a couple people are walking through versus a lot of people coming through your door. And that to me represents the coins going higher. When the coins go higher, that's a lot of people coming through your door. And you're selling a lot more inventory.
right, right. Good, good,
This is
good
just
answer.
commerce.
Edward, before you ask Martina's question, I have to preface this with when people ask these type of questions, we don't know certain factors that apply to the person's situation. We don't know if they've made any adjustments to the settings. We don't know if maybe they started with too many coins. We always suggest if you're new here and you're going to buy this license today, which we strongly suggest and urge you to do because it plain out works. Remember, we've said it before. It's not, does it work? Can it work? Will it work? It's been working 25, 26 years. So there's certain uh, parameters that are not a given when somebody asks a question like that. So we don't know. We always say start with, you don't need more than 3 or 4 coins. Ed Barsano made almost $1 million
There's
in
5.
profit with his first trader with 3 coins over 4 years. $1 million of profit, just under 970,000 or so. 3 coins. I think he finally added one to the mix in the last year, so maybe 4. But you don't need more than 4 coins. I don't care how much money you're trading with. And we try to bang that into people's heads and they don't get it. So I'm just giving a quick disclaimer when a question like this is asked. We don't know what you've done in the background. Maybe you've been a good girl and a good boy and you haven't touched the settings. Let's hope so. But go ahead, Edward.
Okay, Martina says, I've had the trader Go Baby Trade now for a year and made 16.3% in revenue. I'm assuming that's return on
Profits.
your in profits. I'm okay with it. I am okay with it. Just thought 30 to 50% would be great because in your presentations, you were talking about these percentages. I'm aware that the former results are not guaranteed. Let me see how it goes in the next few months. So again, let's go back to when um, Ed first started as trader. For the first 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months, it was gangbusters. Then the market dropped out in November, December of 2021, and it wasn't making any money because the market was just literally going straight down. Now,
Well, it was
oh,
trading.
over
It was still
time,
trading.
right, over time, nothing ever goes straight up or straight down. Now, again, as Attila touched on, I don't know which coins you're trading or whether you have manually traded anything or what you've started with, right? The more money obviously equates to more in profits, but the percentages don't change. But let me ask you this now, or let me reiterate. It's never seen a bull market. It does trade, but depending on the coins that you have, some are better,
Read the rest of the question. It
right?
says what coin she has, Edward.
Um, oh, okay. I didn't see it. There was a bunch of space. Maybe I need to change something. I started March of 25 with the default coins, GRT, ACH, SHIB. Decided to add uh, AVE, AAVE, and Ondo, and those are the best performing so far. So to put that in perspective, ACH, GRT, ACH, and SHIB were back when Ed started as trader in Coinbase, as this example. there were only about 35 coins in which to choose from. Now, Ed, you didn't do a whole lot of research on the performance thereof. As a matter of fact, the highest
No, I
trade
wasn't
counts
looking
didn't
at
exist.
performance. I was looking at that time, I was looking
Right,
at coins that were really good, that like
right.
ACH is like Alchemy Pay Worldwide, and they just partnered with Alchemy Pay a couple months ago, so I was right. And then GRT, the graph, and then obviously they got 70,000 companies using them. They're not going anywhere. I know they're not going out of business. When the prices go lower, I look at that as a coin is in play. That means the big guys want to accumulate that coin. That's why they're pushing it into the ground. Especially that coin has already touched the bottom already multiple times. It keeps sitting there. It can't go lower. It's trying to go lower, but it can't. It was at 2.4 cents, last week. I mean, in my other trader, I manually bought $10,000 worth of GRT when it when it went to 2.4. I said, "Man, this is an insult. This is ridiculous." And then it just sold it off a couple days later when it bounced back because it just can't go below where it's at. All these coins are
Yeah.
at rock bottom. So if you started last March, you really started at a time when the market was going straight down. Now, if you were a buy and holder last March and you bought, you'd be out of the big game already. You'd be down like 50 or 60% from where you went in. As opposed to with the auto trader, you're still pumping money and you're still in the game and you're going to be in the game forever. So
Yeah.
when this
Yeah,
market takes off, it's gonna be like on these days where these coins just like look what here happened in January. What was that? Last year when
20,
ACH here
26,
like
27.
ACH took off here January 26th. It went from 2.1 cents and in 5 days it went straight up to almost 6 cents. And look at all this money because I had all that inventory and it jumped like that. It was just like free money, $2,200, $2,000, $1,745. And it went on and on and on for days. All this free money. That's what happens in a bull market. So that last question we had before when he says, what's the difference between a bull market and a bear market? In a bear market, you're building your inventory and trapping the market at the bottom. And it's prepping you for the kill because then when these coins bounce back, that's when you're going to make a fortune. And let me tell you something about the price of these coins right now. All these prices are like Gillette in the 40s for 2 cents a share. You know, I mean, Microsoft was $30 a share in 2000, and after that crash, and it ran to $500 a share. All these coins
Um,
are insultingly low. And do you know how easy it is for a 1 cent coin or a half-cent coin? That half-cent coin can go to to 2 cents tomorrow, and you make 400% return. That's how
yeah.
fast money moves. Watch what happens in a bull market. And
Hey,
BlackRock
Ed,
knows this. They
let me
know
just
it, and that's
let
why
me
they're loading up. They've been loading up.
let me add one more comment to Martina's question. I would not change anything, Martina. I would let it ride because I guarantee you, if you look in those parentheses, you've got a good large number of positions being held there. And trust us when we say those are going to cash out sooner than later.
The
It's going to
big.
happen. Yeah.
yep.
And this is something, like I said, your DNA wants things to go up. And in reality, down is good.
Yeah.
Down is great. When can you ever push it? I mean, all right, I want Nvidia to go down. I can't make it go down. What is it at? $200 a share or something crazy number like that? I mean, how do you get a big coin? How do I get Microsoft to go down to $30 right now while it's sitting at 400? I can't. But BlackRock and Vanguard, all those big guys who have been accumulating all the shares because they own 95% of all the shares that are out there outstanding that are issued. They own it all.
Mm.
The public, they're only 5% of the public's even in crypto, and everybody that's in cryptos, they bought it all sky high and they're all underwater. So
Yeah.
they're all I mean,
All
the
right.
big guys are the ones that are
And
accumulating all the shares because they know these coins should be at $2 a share or $5 or $10. Instead, they're going for 2.5 cents. That's
We
an
got to move
insult
on,
to
Ed.
humanity right
We got to
there.
move on. I'm sorry. So Kevon Carnell, can I receive crypto from overseas and trade it from my Kraken account? Of course, you can move crypto from anywhere on the planet to anywhere else on the planet. It doesn't matter where your crypto is. It's going from one crypto exchange to another crypto exchange. That's one of the beautiful things about crypto, right, Casey?
Right.
So, absolutely, yes is the answer to that question. And she also, I think it's a she. I'm not even sure.
Yvonne? Yeah,
Not
I
sure.
believe
When
it's
I buy the license, can I use both the stock and the crypto platforms? No. The stock trader is actually a separate license. So, but the great news is if you use Casey's link, you can
They'll get the
still get the
discount.
$1,000 discount on the stock trader, but they are separate licenses. You cannot trade cryptos and stocks off of one license.
You'd have to open a TradeStation account in order to trade stocks. For
Right,
cryptos, you have to have a Coinbase or a Kraken account.
right.
And we've
And
got clients all over the world using Coinbase and Kraken.
correctamundo. Okay, great. Edward, you want to grab the next one from James?
yep. James. James asks, is it better to trade? Uh-oh. Is it better to trade a smaller percentage for liquidity, or does Go Baby Trade correct for that? Is that what I heard? No. So
What does that mean?
I'm gonna pull it apart and see if I can and unpack it. So the trader is set to default when you buy the trader. It's 3% on the buy when it drops to buy more, and 3% on the sell. Those are relatively small percentages anyway. Now, some of us that have accumulated lots and lots of inventory have changed our sell from 3 to 5 because we're looking for the bigger percentage on the upside.
Well,
The
because we got the market trapped at the bottom. Why should I give my shares away for 3% when we got the market trapped all the way at the bottom?
Yep, yep.
So it's
But
like,
even
hey,
if
you
you
want my shares back? Now you can pay me for them. This is my punishment to the market. You brought us down here. Now you got to deal with me.
so if you're as angry as Ed is, change it to 5.
And I changed this to 1% drops from 3%. It was 3% drops for 25 lots, 3 times 25. If I added on 3% drops 25 times, that would give me a 75% coverage it would divide up my money. It says at the bottom, all funds except profits saved will be used within these 60 lots. You would have 75% drop. I've
Right,
got a 60% drop now, but I've changed it to I'm gonna get in quicker, but I'm still gonna go after 5% profits up at the top, 5% profit goal.
Yeah,
So
that's
I had to
interesting.
increase. I still want a 60% drop at least. 1% drops times 60 lots gives me a 60% drop. I
Edward,
mean, I wouldn't change that to 1 and then leave this at 25 because if I
okay,
did that, I would only have a 25% trading window. That means I would be adding on 1% drops and it would only cover me down to a 25% drop. I would
right.
run out of money at that point, and then when the coin drops further, I'm broke. That means I'm a buy and holder at that point, waiting for the coin to go back up.
Uh,
So I
well,
don't want that to happen. I always want to be in the game trading. So
Ed,
no matter where it goes, I want to be pumping money. Just like a store, you wouldn't fill up your 7-Eleven with
right.
groceries and then lock the door.
Edward,
You need a door open to turn inventory.
Edward, why don't you read Scott's question because it kind of goes hand in hand with what the previous attendee asked. I think that was bear
Yep,
with
and
me.
it actually dovetails into Ed's comments.
Yeah.
Ed B, have you ever set one of your traders to trade at 1% up and 1% down as compared to 3 and 3? Yes, we kind of just talked about it, at least on the 1% on the buy side. It seems that would do more than 3x the trades, which would make more money.
No, however, there's a problem with that because you're giving away your shares at 1% moves too fast and you're not holding inventory. I want to have inventory because when that coin jumps 200%, I want to have a lot of inventory to sell. I don't want to be giving it all away And then when it jumped, I mean, wouldn't you feel bad if you sold something at a 1% gain and then the coin jumped 100% the next day? So there's kind of a balance in there, and the court's out on a lot of this stuff when you're talking about these percentages, how to play it right. Because, we're in uncharted territory. The auto trader has never seen a bull market where it goes straight up, other than the first couple months that I released it in 2021. Ever since then, it's been a straight down market, and I've been watching this thing build inventory, and I've been watching it just constantly keep taking profits, which I know I've got the market trapped. So we're learning as we go. That's why I've been doing this 25 years. The first auto traders are radically infantile compared to the trader that we have today, compared to the very first auto trader I released in 2001. So they get smarter and smarter as we go, and we're learning a lot. But right now we know that down is good, down is great, and a lot of inventory gives you a well-seasoned auto trader has a ton of inventory. That's why, even though I'm not a salesman, I have to say anyone who doesn't have an auto trader, you need to jump in, because
Yep.
you need to get so the auto trader can start, number
Speaking
one,
of,
building inventory, and number two, every day you don't have an auto trader, you're just taking all this free money they're just throwing at you. I mean, look
yeah.
at yesterday here. $536 and $221. What is that? $740 or something in one day. It's like, thanks for the free money. Not like I went out to
Yeah.
work for it.
Speaking of the trader, Edward, would you mind one more time putting the Crypto Casey discount link into the chat? Anybody that's been asking us, I see a few questions about what to click on. Do I go to my Facebook to pull it up? No, you don't go to your Facebook. You just click on the link that Edward's posting in the chat, and that'll do it. Now, here's a question from Stephen L. This is for Crypto Casey. I follow you, Crypto Casey, on YouTube and know that you are a big advocate of non-custodial ownership of funds. What are your thoughts on Go Baby Trade being custodial because it uses Coinbase and Kraken or
So,
Kraken?
so basically, I would treat Go Baby Trade as a part of a total investment strategy.
Right.
So it creates money for you. Whatever you'd like to do with that money, you can invest it into a different asset class. You can use it to accumulate Bitcoin for the long-term hold, which I would always suggest having your own self-custody. I mean, anytime we put money to work or invest, there's risk involved. So whatever kind of risk you're willing to take, whether it be a business venture where you could potentially lose money, or you're keeping, obviously, the money's being custodied by Coinbase, which is, I'd say, probably the top custodial of crypto in the world. If they had a problem, there would be a lot of problems around the world outside of that in the broader financial realm. So with
Right.
that, yes, there's always risk involved with investing. So it's just a matter of what you're comfortable with, what kind of risk
Yeah, I have
you
a different
are
take.
willing to assume. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Casey. I have a different take on that. So Ed Barsano, do you mind unsharing your screen so I could share something real quick? This is important
Sure.
for everybody to know that this resource is even available. Um, Give me a second. Why can't I get rid of this? Oh, there it is. Okay, it just came off. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Give me a sec. Boy, this thing is slow as heck today. What the
Yeah,
heck?
you're freezing. You're freezing up a lot.
Yeah, okay.
I just like all of mine to be in my Coinbase account, all of my liquid cash, because I just want to turn inventory. And 100% of a million is a lot different than 100% of 500,000. If I can double a million in 1 year, that feels good.
And
And I have
also,
some
I believe
clients
with
that have multiple accounts
And I think
with
with
that much.
Coinbase One, with dollars and I think some of the stable coin, they FDI insure it like more than the 250K. Not
Oh,
necessarily the crypto, but the money in there. So
can
that's
you guys
also the same as a bank.
We can see your screen.
Okay, so listen, this is Coin Market Cap, guys. And Stephen, you just asked this question. So Stephen, if you were having surgery on your face and there were 248 surgeons you could choose from, would you feel pretty good about the top 20 or the top 14 or the top 15? If you were building a new home for you and your family and there were 248 builders, would you feel pretty good about the top 20 that were listed and evaluated based on how much business they do, how satisfied the customers are. Well, look, this is CoinMarketCap. This is the top 248 exchanges in the world. Coinbase is number 2. They manage $1.5 billion worth of people's money. They're not going anywhere. Massive corporations and enterprise companies custody their crypto here. Okay. Now, technically, can they go out of business? Yes. Technically, can the number one builder in the world go out of business? Yes. Is that going to happen? No. Kraken, number 14 out of 248. We're in good shape here,
I
guys.
picked those two because they're U.S. based exchanges,
Yep.
and Coinbase trades in the U.S. stock market. Kraken has applied. I think they're going to be trading on the New York either New York Stock Exchange or the Nasdaq by June. I think they applied for. So they're both going to be, they're kind of regulated and everything, and they both have good internal security. And when you sign up, we help you turn on that security to prevent people from stealing your coins.
Correct.
People are always amazed when somebody signs up and I call them up and I help them do it, and they're like, the CEO of the company is actually helping me.
Yep.
The
That's
thing is,
what I
I'm
meant
not
about-
real busy, even though I have thousands of clients, I'm not real busy. There's very little support.
That's what I meant about the
Because
total
the stuff all
McDonald's
just
analogy.
runs.
The
Pardon me,
McDonald's,
Attila?
that's what I meant when I mentioned the McDonald's analogy, that we have access to the creator. I mean, how often do you get that with any business? Really. But I do like Casey's comment that this is part of an overall investment strategy. So if you got to diversify between custodial and non-custodial, that's part of an overall plan. Anyway, Edward, did you have any more questions that you see we need to read?
Nope. What I did want to call while you were speaking, what I want people to pay attention to is the chat. I posted Crypto Casey's discount link a couple of times.
Awesome.
There are 2 support emails: support@gobabytrade.com and support@RCT Marketing Systems. That allows you to ask any other questions that may pop into your head, or if you send us an email and say, hey, I'm really interested in the trader. People buy it on the spot and people buy it 6 months later. And the people that bought it 6 months later always comment, geez, I wish I had done this 6 months ago.
Oh,
Not
I
my
hear
point.
it
My
every
point,
week.
yeah,
Every week I hear it.
my point being is that you can contact us through either one of those emails and say, I'm ready to buy the trader. I need some help getting it set up. And we will do that. We are 100% committed to your success. We're interested in getting you to scenario 3 as quickly as you want to get there. You're joining part of a family. This isn't going to buy a bag of potato chips. This is you. We are committed. We are all the CEO of our respective companies, and one of the smartest brains in the crypto universe now and forever. You have sitting right here that's explained her experience, thought it was a scam, not a scam. Easy. I've also posted the financial intelligence free community. We have a couple hundred folks that we just opened it up about a month or so ago that spend time with one another, help one another, comment, feedback. It's a community that we want to build so that you can be successful. We also ask, if you get something out of this, invite your friends. We want to educate them as well. You'll look like an absolute hero. And then the last couple of things I put in, if you're not already a subscriber of Crypto Casey's YouTube channel, I don't know where you've been, but I've posted that link as well. Go subscribe to her channel. And while you're at it, go to our Financial Intelligence for You channel, because that's where you're going to find the replay for all of these masterclasses.
Yep, fantastic, Edward. Great point. And by the way, we're here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time with Ed Barsano. Casey does come and join us sometimes. For the last 4 or 5 weeks, she's joined us consistently. We also have a week from today, same time, same channel. You do have to re-register, but we're here a week from today at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And like Edward said, invite your friends. There was something else I was going to say, and it left my brain.
That's all right. While you're thinking about that, thank you for reminding me, because I need to post the link for Saturday the 25th
Yeah.
because it is a different registration. Well, actually, my apologies. It's the same registration link as you
Thank
joined here,
you, because I
but
posted that on Facebook.
right, but differently. So here's this next Saturday's registration, and while you're thinking about it, Attila, let me find the link to our normal Wednesday.
Yeah. So, I always end these webinars by saying the following, while Edward's still.
We're nowhere near the end.
Yes, we
Yes, we
are.
are. Yes, we are.
I still want to talk about the distribution. How you can manage the incoming profits. You can actually tell it which coin to send that profits to.
Is that
Like,
live yet?
it is, yes, it
Oh,
is for
okay.
you. It
Oh,
is for
okay.
you and Attila and Edward. You need to send me your email address of your account.
Okay.
And I have a whole bunch of testers that right here, Go Baby Trade clients that send email to support@gobabytrade.com and said, I want to test the new distribution feature where you can direct the incoming money. So you see this money from these trades, like this $221 here that came in, and I can tell it I want 25% of that profit to go into GRT. I know Crypto Casey has hers going into Bitcoin. She directs 100%. All the auto traders make money. She directs 100% of the profits to Bitcoin. She
Mm,
says, I want Bitcoin to use all that money. So, and then it also, I have it set to send 25% of the money to the coin that actually made the profit, and then the other 50% of that $221 I want to go into the save bucket, right? And now if I go over to the next, so you can see your distributed funds, how much it has accumulated in each one of these coins, right? And
mm.
then it also, on the select currency screen, you can see your distributed funds. There's how much has been distributed to each of the coins. Now I can release that if I want. If I want to say I want to take that $373 from GRT, I can just uncheck that. See, the 53,458 is what the funds remaining. I can uncheck that and it reduced it by that amount. So it took it out of the distributed money and it gave it to these other coins, that extra money.
Ed,
Or right from the profits screen, I don't want to confuse people, but this is all more than you need to know.
yeah.
Edit distributed funds, I could change that. I could say I don't want to get rid of the whole, I don't want to release the whole 373 from GRT. Let's take 100 out of that and just do that, and then hit save.
Hey, Ed, I just need to let everybody know that the best part of what you just showed is the fact that since I've purchased the license in March of 24, that's 25 months ago, you have added at least 7 to 10 pretty major things to the trader. So Ed Barsano is always working in the background to hone this thing to make it even better than it already is with its rich 25-year history. This was requested actually by Crypto Casey, and he's been working feverishly on it
Like a
for the last.
dog. You have no idea what went into that
Yeah,
feature. It's
Uh,
actually ready. I keep talking to Steven. I'm like, do you think we should release it? I actually told him just last night. I said, you know what? Let's just release it tomorrow to everybody. It's already working. Don't worry about it.
yeah.
I mean,
Excellent.
I've been getting nothing but positive feedback from the testers,
Yeah, thank you
so
for that, Ed. That's
that's
awesome. Really cool. All right, so Casey, I know you got to go, so let's go to you first and let you get out of here because you've got an appointment. What are your closing comments today besides?
besides be safe out there.
I like that one.
In addition to be safe out there, sure. We'll be here Wednesday again, next Saturday, every Wednesday from here on out. I mean, there's tons of opportunities to talk with us live or even contact email or
Yep,
call Edward, Attila. Because I know the only thing is I know people have questions and they're just curious and worried, and I get it because it sounds strange. It did to me as well. And take as much time as you need to figure out if it's something that you want to do. I think you'll be happy in the end. Everybody has been so far. So
yep. Awesome.
considering everybody's happy in a straight down market. I can't
Yeah,
wait till
that's
this market
crazy,
turns
actually.
around.
Yeah.
Then people are going to
I,
be going crazy,
The
man.
only
You
people
want
making money is if you have this trader or if you're manually putting in you're manually shorting stuff. But all of those orders you put in, Wall Street and even this trader is taking advantage of that information you're giving in the order book and making money around you. So,
yeah, I remember the what I was going to say a few minutes ago was that when you go to this screen, stay on this screen for a minute, Ed. You see where it says
sure.
videos here? When you go to videos, and by the way, talk about doing your due diligence and your homework before you even pull the trigger to buy the trader. If you still have questions, there's an FAQ question section here. There's the highest trade count. There's the top traders. There's a sample trader that's actually a real trader. But the videos is really cool because there's about 17 of them there. Most of them are Ed Barsano, but I've got two there that show you how to go live and connect with the API from your trader to your Coinbase. And this other video is from your trader to your Kraken. So if you look at that and you still can't figure it out, email us support@rctmarketingsystems.com.
I don't
Closing
even look at these traders unless I'm doing a webinar, man, and I just think it's so cool.
closing
I got to look
comments.
at my traders more often.
Ed Barsano, closing comments.
Hey, every day you don't have an auto trader, you're not building inventory. Those are the two main things. Number one, you're not building inventory. And number two, you're not taking all the free money they're throwing at you. And you need to start building inventory. Some people are saying, I'm going to wait until the market starts going up before I jump in. I'm like, whoa, no. Then you don't have anything to sell.
Yeah.
It's like you just open up a 7-Eleven, didn't put any product on the shelf, and you're going to wait until the school bus pulls up. It's like you don't have anything in your store. You need to stock the shelves. And that's the thing. I know a lot of the stuff I say just doesn't sound like stock market or crypto market behavior talking, but you don't realize it's to me it's just an insult to humanity. It's so simple, insultingly simple. And once you get it though, because again, I talk to thousands of people, I know their mental state. When you first it's your DNA that you can't handle. You see down days and you freak out and all that. We laugh when we see down days. Down days are just buy days, man. Down days are just hey, just load up. Today's another down day. And you notice the auto trader only bought once. One opened today. Why only one? Because it says this coin's been in a range and it hasn't been selling. It hasn't gone high enough to sell and it already bought when it went down in that range. So it's like unless you break out of this little range here, I'm not gonna sell something at a loss, and I'm not gonna buy more at a price I already paid for it. So the software's reserving your money. And it's saying I'm not going to buy more in the same price that I already own it at. If it drops further down, I'll buy more, but I'm not going to buy it as long as it's sitting there. And this is where the market's been just jerking with the public, is it's been sitting in this tight range. Like I said about Bitcoin, just about the same price it was a year ago. It's sitting there and it's not moving. And the software does proper dollar cost averaging when it puts money in. It says now, where people do it wrong, the way you manually dollar cost average, is someone will say, I'm gonna buy $100 worth of Bitcoin every month. You're buying it at the same price every month. You're pumping all your money in at the same price. It's like that's not the way you're supposed to do it. Reserve that money because when that coin drops, you want to have a nice bucket of money at the bottom. And the software handles all this for you. A lot of times, some people will say, when they get their auto trader, they'll say, I want at least half my money invested right away. Well, if you look at the auto trader, like this one here, in my case, my trader buys $4,800 worth. But that's out of a $538,000 account. You know, you might only see it buy 3% put 3% of your money in. And you're going, what about that other 97% of cash that's sitting there? Somebody told me the other day, I want at least half my money in crypto. I'm like, that's wrong. That's the wrong way to think. You're putting all your money in, where is it at? The bucket in the well. You're saying you want to put half your money in up here, and then that means for the other 90% drop that it could make going down, you only want the other half working for you. That's called top heavy. You don't want to do that. The software automatically spreads it out properly. It says, I only need to put 3% of my money in right there. Let's see where the market goes. I want to have enough money reserved. And luckily, we were actually, because the software is so smart, I never expected that market to drop 94%. Nobody did. So it caught the whole world off guard, but it didn't catch the software off guard. The software kept us in the game even though the coins dropped all the way down. I mean, believe me, when I first released the Auto Trader, man, and that market started crashing, I was thinking, oh my God, I released an Auto Trader to the public and the market's just tanking. What the heck is going on? But then people started calling me and they said, Ed, look at my closed positions. It overtook, within a couple months of that crash in 2021, the open positions, the closed positions overtook the open inventory that was underwater. And then it was like, holy, now I didn't even expect that. It was a surprise to me. I'm like, oh yeah, now I see what's happening. And because we keep pumping money, but this is open inventory is just a number going up and down with the price of the coin. As the price goes up and down, this goes up and down. But this number keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Thanks, Ed.
I'm telling you, man,
We
if you
don't,
don't have an auto trader, man, then you need, I don't know, does anybody here have a therapy license? So we can have therapy sessions? I don't know. Yeah, you need an
we now
auto trader,
know
seriously.
we now know Ed's final comments, closing comments are much longer on the Zooms that start at 8 a.m. versus the Zooms that start at 11
Yeah,
a.m.
watch it.
Was that your
Hey,
closing comment?
you're
That
the one that
was
got me up at six
Usually
o'clock
it's
in the
Go
morning.
Navy. Usually it's Go Navy. I'm like, what? Where did Go
Yeah, it
Navy
used to
go?
be just go Navy and that was it.
All
Hey,
right.
Casey, thank you. Thank you for coming on Saturday. I appreciate that, you guys.
Absolutely. So, as I always say, I believe that when you earn your money, whether you own your own business and you earn revenue or you have a job, you earn that money and your money's unemployed. I don't believe there's a better way to give your money a job than through this automated robotic trader. I've known Ed Barsano now 14 years. I know what's in his mind as far as and his mission on earth as it relates to this trader, and that's all he does. All he thinks about is getting this thing out to the masses because he knows how powerful it is. So with that, I always say go forth and multiply your money with the Go Baby Trader.
Casey.
Edward.
So, yeah, mine is simple. Thank you so much for spending time with us. This is the first time we've done it on a Saturday, and we're hoping that if you made it here today, it's because that you needed something a little bit more convenient. So we're trying to serve you in any way at the highest level possible. You know, it is such a blessing to have been introduced to Ed Barsano and his trader technology, and then Crypto Casey, the icing on top that serves her audience at the highest level. She is one of the best human beings that I know and we've ever worked with. Um, I compliment everybody, including my good friend Attila. We all make a great team, and I hope you take away value out of this. So as you're looking at the screen, pick your box, pick your scenario.
Mhm.
Don't stay programmed in the rat race. Don't stay programmed in the middle class. When the fiat market, our current financial system, is going to go away, not if, but when. If you're in scenario 1 or 2, you're going to lose bad. Work your way, use this tool and any other opportunity that you can identify. And by the way, financial intelligence, Crypto Casey, we're together to help you grow through this. Just watch what Crypto Casey puts out, and she helps you navigate the greater sense of what the market is. This is just a path to one of the paths to financial freedom, but I don't know a better path. It has been a blessing to my family to create a legacy for my children's children. And I thank you for that opportunity. And I thank you for the opportunity for us to be able to share.
Amen to that. Okay, guys, we'll see everybody this coming Wednesday. What's the date on that, Edward?
That
20
is that's a good question. All the days
22nd?
are
29th.
running together.
No, 22nd. 22nd. Yeah, we'll see everybody on the 22nd of April. That's this Wednesday. Thank
Yep.
you for being here. Ed Barsano, as always, thanks so much. And Casey, can't thank you enough either.
I'll see
Bye
you
for
guys.
now.
All right. Stay safe out there.
Yeah,
Thanks,
be safe out there,
everybody.
guys.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you. Bye.